This is where you find out most about footballers.
Absolutely. The winner gets their season up off the canvas, but the loser, it might be down for the count. Bell-Chambers and Cruiser, what a matchup that is. Tom Bell-Chambers in game 100. Milestone game for him. Fantastic to have your company wherever you're watching around the planet. And we'll get a restart here in the middle of the MCG.
Blues were right into Goddard then, off the half-back line. Kerridge was, looks like the man at the start to line up on Brendan Goddard and try and restrict his influence in this game. And Ambrose, who is an aerobic animal, has gone to Kerno.
Two ruckmen look at each other again. Fisher had a chance to grab the Sharon, couldn't.
Holding, Carlton, Patrick Cripps.
Cripps ball, so expect a little bit of that. They'll try and stop Cripps, their premier ball winner, from clearance situations, from getting the ball, but that's one way of getting the clearance in his hands. You grab him and try to stop him. He launches. Mackay's down there. Can he get the run at it? Ball flicks down to the ground. Good tackle laid by Hooker. But a good spot for a ball up as Eleni Glufsis comes in and will toss it in the air.
Hooker's gone to Mackay. That's Mackay and Kerno, two deep forwards for Carlton.
Reach from Bell-Chambers. Zaharakis had a piece of it. Lang around the body. How's that for a start? First kick, new club goal.
Well, look at this response. This is what you want to see, Dwayne and Ed and Jono early in the piece. It always helps when it's your first kick for your new club, and it's always going to elicit a great response, but that just shows some great spirit there. And Hurley's the one, Jono. Hurley was the one that gets caught. That's a bad matchup from an Essendon point of view. Oh, it is. Look at that from Darcy Lang, and that's a sensational effort. Goal on the left, breaks through the stoppage. Hurley just caught watching him and then loses touch with him. No physical ability to put any body on him at all. What a goal from Darcy Lang. Great start.
Great start indeed. So Darcy Lang puts the Blues on the board. It's been all Carlton in the opening minute, from the free kick to Cripps to the snapper goal from Lang, and Cruiser and Bell-Chambers go at each other at the centre bounce. Beautiful bounce by the umpire on that occasion. The Bombers through Merritt trying to get the ball out. Cripps gets his head over the ball as usual, holds it up. They go in pretty hard. Both players, both teams going at it. McDonald Tippenwoody finds a bit of space, but he held it on too long, and you are gone. Matty Cruiser.
Well, when your ruckman's chasing down your small, quick forward, that's another great sign for Carlton.
And they break well, the Blues, but the kick from Cruiser is a shocker. The bounce might help them, and it does. So they can go again. Daisy Thomas with a nice handball over the top. Carlton try and fashion it along the wing now on the outer side of the ground. It's picked up by Lamb, twisting and turning. He handballs into space, which was a great handball. Here's a chance now for Paddy Dow. The handball comes inside. Carlton just willing it forward at the moment, trying to get it through. Hurley crashes the pack. Dangerous kick. McKernan, beautiful pickup, and he clears for the Bombers.
Blues have the numbers around it though. Jones short. Nice delivery. O'Brien just beyond his range. Essendon, no teenagers in their 22. Carlton has 3, a couple of 18s and a 19 as Kerno flies. Cripps nearly got it off hands. Bell-Chambers knocked it down. Myers out towards Zaharakis to Hooker. Up against the boundary. Touch play on. Ed gets a chance. Ed Kerno from 45. And he misses to the near side.
Big opportunity there for Kerno. It just opened up for him. It was like the seas parted, and there was a huge gap for him to run into. Easy shot at goal. Would have liked a better response with that shot at goal from Kerno.
So Goddard comes out and kicks beautifully to Bigley. Hits him right on the nose, basically. Just had to put his hands up to mark it. He does, and he gets it across to Heppel, his captain. A wobbly old left foot kick might come off for him, though. First touch coming through there for Fantasia, back from injury, and he takes it to the boundary line for a throw in.
Fascinating to see that Hurley hasn't taken one of the key forwards, of Charlie Kerno or Mackay. That's gone to Hooker and to Ambrose, which means that Hurley ends up with a small.
Is that, Gary, because they want Hurley to be an attacking defender today rather than defensive?
He's been attacking a lot this year, Ed. It hasn't helped him. That's why I'm surprised. I thought maybe it's time to say, here's your lockdown. Go and play on Kerno. Go and play on Mackay. Use him as your starting point. He's already given up one goal. Well, that's where it becomes smart for his direct opponent as well, because he's going to go back and try and influence the contest in the air. And if his player has an impact at ground level, that can be dangerous for the Blues.
Snap out of the pack by Devon Smith. Up towards the wing position. McKernan was front and centre again there. Stewart gets the handball going. Nice play by Smith, gets it to his skipper. And the captain does beautifully with the kick, almost a push in the back there to McDonald Woody. He's up and down again. In goes Fantasia. Bit of pace for the Essendon forward line. Goes with a short kick because there was nothing on long. He almost tripped over himself, went and got his own ball. Good play. Fantasia doing good stuff in there. Cripps hits it hard as always. Stewart over the top. They try to will it forward again, this time through Myers. High up and under. Here's a chance. Much is there for Essendon. Picked up by O'Brien. Shrugs the tackle. Does it beautifully. Gets the round of applause. Next kick is important, and it goes to a one-on-one on centre wing.
Lamb was kind of aware that he had a couple of bombers around him, and he was never going to win it unless he got it out of play. He couldn't. And Much takes it at half forward from the short pass. Good crowd in, sun shining, MCG. McKernan back into the lineup. Stewart flies from 4 deep. Couldn't take the mark. Here's McKernan on cue. It's a roller. It's a little wide, and it sits up for Plowman, who, if he wanted to, could have taken it through. Was a little casual at the end.
You see Bagley there, he started forward. That's in as a result of their inability to hold it in. So he's there to put pressure on, try and keep the footy, and this is too easy.
Ooh.
Too easy exit.
So to the wing, Lang down there, thumped away from him, close to the boundary. Charlie Curnow back into the lineup, through that to Cruiser, got away with it somehow.
Free kick.
On the foot. Yeah, absolutely, off McKennan's foot.
Wow.
He's inside the boundary line. The umpire said go. So Cruiser does. Again up to a one-on-one contest off the hands of the pack. Cripps, sensational kick along the boundary line. It opens up right now for Graham, but the boundary line beats him. Let's have a look at Curnow's throw. He was one-handed all the way through here, but he got hold of it, and that is a throw.
That is a throw. It was called knocked out in the tackle, which isn't the case there on replay.
Good spot for a ball in here for the Blues. They've done a lot of attacking early. Bill Chambers and Cruiser. That'll be a fantastic 4-quarter battle. And they'll do it again.
Jed Lamb's the other one that usually goes to the most attacking defender, and he's gone and taken Brendan Goddard at the moment.
And he's just running back to the goal line at the moment to take Goddard back there. Spot on Gary Lyon as Devon Smith gathers, and is in turn gathered by Petrevski-Seton. Hurley got under that kick a little. Jones attacked it, brought it to ground. Daisy Thomas kept it alive. Ugly bounce. Smith gets there, but he's in turn got hard. O'Shea took him down and took it out.
I've been keeping an eye on the Lamb v Goddard. They're not going to let Goddard free. He traditionally likes to start up on wing and then drift back to be the +1. Lamb not letting him go anywhere. There will be fireworks at some stage.
A little bit there.
No, he's got to stand up there.
A little punch there, a little bump. Cruiser doing well in the ruck at the moment, off hands. There's that man Lamb. Gets the handball across. Little chip kick was magnificent from Graham. That is great football.
That is a great call, Eddie, because he had the composure not just to blaze away and to set up, and that was Lamb on Goddard. So Goddard came up to the stoppage, and Lamb got him on the fast break.
So 18-year-old Lockie O'Brien in game number 5 for his first score in AFL football. The kick will be from about 50 metres. He comes in, gets the 49, and he is still without a score in AFL football.
A little bit of yips from the youngster there. Scouting report is he can run, but his kicking can let him down occasionally, and scouting report was right there for the pick 10. And that Bryce Gibbs move, ball thumped towards the boundary, and we'll get a ball in.
Sam Rowe with Jake Stringer at the moment, and Liam Jones, who's provided some really good support early on in the piece. He's just playing on his own terms at the moment across half-back.
Cruiser got a big palm on it. Graham got it up just in time. Scrambled forward in the Charlie Curnow direction, but Ambrose gets it across the line.
Hate to make you all feel old too, guys, but O'Brien will be the last of the players recruited who were born last century.
Back into play. Cruiser, Bell Chambers, slapped towards Much. Was being hassled. O'Brien quickly tackled, and we'll get a ball up. But the intensity is up from the outset. High stakes game, and it's living up to expectations so far.
Now the umpire gets it up, and that's what there's been a lot of talk about at various rules committees and radio and all sorts of television shows, and particularly on Fox Footy, to get that ball moving quickly from the stoppages. Umpires get it up quickly, boundary umpires throw it in. We've seen that in the game last night and so far today.
Saw it in the 68 grand final. It was on replay before the game.
They didn't muck around in those days.
They got it straight in the air.
So Cruiser gets the handball going. Handball missed the target. Graham did all right, but now the Bombers have got it. Zaharakis, little chip kick is a beauty, and the Bombers will get their first shot at goal.
Well, 6 inside 50s. This is just their 3rd inside 50, the Bombers, so it's been living up the other half. I love those kicks, Jono, just off the square, rather than blaze away. We've seen everyone struggle to kick goals anyway, so you might as well try and get it into the hands of someone in a better position.
So the boy from County Tyrone in Ireland lines up. Conor McKenna has kicked 11 goals, 8 in game number 38 for the Bombers. He's a beautiful kick of the football. Comes in and kicks truly, and the Bombers are on the board. Scores a level at the MCG.
Well, fantastic work by Essendon, not giving up on the chase on this occasion. Carlton were their own worst enemy in terms of fumbling the ball, missed handballs. Cruiser starts it off here. Graham involved as well, looking for the push in the back instead of taking possession. Then Essendon clean it up, and a smart kick from Zaharakis there. And when you look at the major ball winners for the Bombers, they need to fire today. Heppel, Hurley and Goddard, they've been getting plenty of ball, but not too much have come from the ball that they're getting in recent weeks in terms of effect and certainly scoreboard impact in transition play. So those 3 players really need to fire up today in the early stages, though. It's Goddard yet to touch the ball, which is, 11 minutes gone in the first quarter. That's unusual for Brendan Goddard.
Here the umpires in the effects, Mike, doing a bit of coaching as well as umpiring, as Dow gives it back to Cripps, and he'll get himself another clearance for the Blues, and he launches it under it. Charlie Curnow, 2 against him. Hooker, good grab.
Yeah, well, that was Ambrose that just sat on Curnow, kept him away from the contest. That's a contentious issue this round too.
McKenna to Laverde, not the required 15. He danced around Kerridge a little too easily. McKernan back into the lineup off the rookie list again this year. McDonald, Tip and Woody. So Stewart's out the back if he wants to go quick. And 50, so McDonald, Tip and Woody will have a shot at goal.
Well, there was about 5 Carlton players who ran through that area then, Gary, so I'm not sure which one the umpire is called this on specifically, but they're all trying to get out of the way, because it was a quick kick out of a congested area. So then Carlton trying to transition into defence.
These are things we have to look at. If players are trying to clear the area, they can't just vaporise.
No.
For the lead for the Bombers for the first time today. From directly out, and he has missed.
Let's have a look at the 50 here. So the mark's taken. So the Carlton players, one goes through. Dow was running through.
Oh, they're borderline.
They're all borderline.
Well, Dow's trying to get to Parish there straight away, and was arguably within.
But they're all clearing the area. That's the key point.
That's right.
Much goes up and takes the mark. All right, it's coming straight back in. So Kobe Much, nice kick to McKernan. Now, Gary, we were talking before the game. It could be anything, this bloke.
Yeah, he has about 5 moments a game when he plays. He hasn't played since the middle of last year, but when he does, he has 5, I reckon at least 5 where you look at him and say he's a 200-game player. And then he disappears and we don't see him for half a season. So there's clearly other issues, consistency and effort maybe, but gee, he's got the physical component.
He's got everything going. Let's see what we can do with the ball in hand now as he comes in and kicks at goal. And that is exactly what we mean.
Here's one of us.
He's got everything, and he puts it right through the middle. Well done there to Sean McKernan. Welcome back to big time footy.
Yeah, well, he's busy, and that's what you like about him. There he is, right there, McKernan. So Kobe Much has already taken the mark, backpedaling off, and he's just always moving. Daisy Thomas has to try and get into the space, doesn't go and put any body contact on him. McKernan takes an easy, uncontested mark in the end. So great work from Kobe Much to start with, to take that mark and get the ball in there effectively. But the result is a huge goal to Essendon's pre-season specialist in McKernan, because he dominates the summer and doesn't get a look in. And here he is today on the MCG.
3 games last year, first game this year. For Sean McKernan back in the middle. Essendon have raised the stakes here. They've had a good 5 minutes. Ball knocked down by Myers. Garlick quick off the square, quickly tackled. Crowd still building here at the G. It's a good scene as you look around the ground. Both sets of fans have come here knowing this is the one they can win. Huge afternoon And Nick D'Alessandro downstairs watching it from the boundary.
Yeah, I'm still keeping an eye on the Lamb v Goddard matchup. We know Lamb has played the defensive forward role before really well against James Sicily last year. I think we're going to expect similar things. He's into Goddard at every opportunity, and as I speak, he's just spread on him to centre wing.
Yeah, Thomas delivered it nicely to him. Got him at running full flight. Simpson, a wobbler, but it might still work. Wright tried to knock on. That didn't work. Goddard lurking. Lamb cuts him down. Sard inside. Parrish, McNeese, turnover. Ed Curnow, nice little poke pass, Ed. He knew he had Graham free. Didn't want to blaze away and waste it. Graham to the square. Charlie Curnow, Garlett. Charlie! Thought Charlie marked it, but it's a free to the Bombers.
Hands in the back. Not sure what Garlett was doing on that occasion. He jumped before he jumps without his eyes in the footy.
Oh, it's the tiniest of touch from Curnow as well.
But that should be enough. That should be enough, Jono, to say that that's where we've got to get Charlie Curnow. That's where you hurt Ambrose.
Yep.
What do you reckon of the free kick, Jono?
Well, by the rule, it's there.
Okay, well, that's what they're supposed to be.
Exactly right. We're calling for that.
Yeah.
Pay the rules. If they're there, pay them.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, you want to be a full forward now if that's the rule for the day.
Yes.
Stand in front. Ball on the 50. Petrevsky. Seaton goes over the line and out of bounds. Is that technically a throw into the boundary line?
Yeah, that wasn't far away from a free kick either. They're just marginally working harder in their forward 50 at the moment, the Blues. That would be the only area that you'd differentiate the teams.
Big Bell Chambers gets a double-handed whack forward. Smith, again, is wrapped up. We'll get a bounce. So Smith holds the ball up, which is a bit of the tactic. The other tactic to look to, as some clubs are employing, is two players put their hands up. The umpire has to ask, well, which one of you is going to go for the ruck?
It buys them another 10 seconds then.
Watch that one tomorrow for Geelong.
Straight back, here it is.
Oh. You're kidding.
Throw up. Free kick the Crips.
They should pull the trigger quick. Get it back to Charlie Curnow and ask the question of Patrick Ambrose again.
Cripps waits. Charlie Curnow leads. It's ignored. He heads longer towards the square. Mackay's down there. Bell Chambers down there right. Nearly crumbed it. Did crumb it. Tried to get away with a handball. Was slung. Big pack around it, and the umpire will sort it out.
All but 6 players inside defensive 50 at the moment.
Season's still salvageable for the Bombers. They get away with a win here today. All of a sudden they can get some momentum going. So much expectation for the Bombers pre-season. Much hands and knees. Dragged it in, then got up. Look at the scramble there. You could throw a blanket over 20 of them. Ball comes toward Lang. Sidestep was good. Kick not so good. And it's on the full. Free kick Bombers.
Well, the Bombers forwards are going to have to push back into position here. They've got Rowe for the Blues, who's almost that goalkeeper. He's the last line of defence. So an out of bounds would probably be a good result.
Yep, and that's the sort of discussion we're trying to get out of the game, isn't it? Those comments we've just had in a natural commentary, you could throw a blanket over 20 and a boundary throw-in would be a good result. It's sort of not what we're looking for. But that's what it is at the moment, and as a result of that, Stringer is caught and dragged down and holding the ball, says the umpire.
Yeah, well, he went a fend off. So if you fend off, that's your prior opportunity gone right there. So that's a good decision.
And Cripps
coming in for his 6th possession, which would make him the leading possession winner on the ground.
Okay. Well,
Essendon free kick, Essendon free. Essendon free. Essendon free kick, typical footy. Give me the ball.
That'll go to Stringer. So straight away hand over here.
So Stringer gets the ball back at half-back flank because of a block in the goal square. We'll come back there looking at that, Gary. It has been obvious from last night as well that the umpires are looking for blocking free kicks for the ball coming in.
Hands in the back.
Free kick to Carlton this time.
Well, there's no flow at the moment, Eddie. It is it's a hard game to call. We've got nothing great to comment on at the minute.
No, well, the last 5 minutes, Gary, the only playmakers have been the umpires.
Yeah.
Kerridge heads out wide. Now it's open. Mullet can get and go. He's got Lamb long. Needs to be good. It sits on him. Goddard looks at the player, not the ball. Lamb takes an easy mark.
It was a great kick. He really covered distance there. He could have gone the shorter option, went the longer.
Short pass.
That's not so good.
Had the Blues brothers there, the two Curnows, but he split the middle of them. And he could have gone longer to the square because Cripps has drifted down to full forward at the moment, and he would have been a good option.
Thanks, Ed.
Ball up just outside the 50. Bill Chambers. Little palm down on Mackay. Fisher tried to get it out. Was stripped of it. Ball still in the congestion. Scrambled forward by Ed Curnow. Pocket. There's that Cripps. Hurley matchup. Splendid tackle by Cripps. No prior opportunity according to the umpire. Right to the goal square. Lamb was caught by the ear.
It's a big win this at the moment. And they are targeting Brendan, which is fair enough. That's what they're going to do. But this is a win. I mean, Jed Lamb can verbal and niggle and do all the other stuff, but actually getting the footy is what's going to hurt most, particularly in this area.
The psychology of this is fantastic, isn't it? Brendan Goddard, the most experienced player out there, and they are absolutely into him.
Okay, try something different with Brendan Goddard then. Put him to full forward and tell him to sit inside 50 by himself and have an impact in the forward half of the ground and clear them out. Jed Lamb, if he goes with him, great, but he won't go with him there.
He might be a great leader and a sensational player, but perception is the reality. You get Goddard, you get Essendon, and Lamb puts it through.
Well, right now, we've got a blood rule, so that might be Hurley. But right now, Jed Lamb is the leading possession winner on the ground, and he's just kicked the goal. So he's playing on Brendan Goddard. So be interested to see, Jono, you're right, whether they make a change. Just a free kick, that's a free kick. To Paddy Cripps all day. But the Lamb v Goddard is a big win for the Blues at the moment.
So let's see what happens. I mean, normally here, Brendan Goddard be telling people where to go, what to do. Will other Essendon players stand up and find a block, a tackle, a shepherd, do something to get Lamb away from Goddard? Have a look at Lamb just having a day out. He's got one job to do, and that is drive Brendan Goddard mad.
From the restart. Good contest at the moment. The captain of the Bombers, Heppel, tried to get it out of the middle. From the scramble, Myers had a piece of it. McKernan flicked it to the back. Blues have got numbers behind the ball. Fisher flicks it wide to Simpson. If it bounces, he's away. Short pass. Mackay had to reach for it. Got away from Hooker. A little too easy. Gave him the Elvis hips. Got it inside 50 with a bouncing ball. Goddard half had Lamb again. McNeese stolen by Carlton. Little shake and bake from him. High kick. Graham stands under it. Cruiser went with the knuckles. Smith. Heppel. Got the handball up just in time. No dodge a bullet here. McDonald, Tippin Woody. Flicks it over the top. They haven't got a lot on long. Fantasia holds it and waits. Goes back to Merritt. He chips it. He clean missed Stringer. Horrible kick. Simpson mops it up. Gave it to Jones. Gets the handball back to Simpson. He floats it wide to Lang, and the Blues are away from half-back if he wants to be.
And building. The body language of Carlton is good at the moment. Thomas kicked and dragged down, and might have got a free kick, but the ball goes over line, out of bounds. Throw in.
A couple of things. They can't keep the footy in their half, which has been their problem all year, but they're allowing Carlton to have an extra. And the other thing, I'm old school too. I want someone to fly the flag for Brendan Goddard at the moment. I mean, how can you let a half-forward flanker, slight of bill, start bullying your veteran? I mean, that's symptomatic maybe of the mindset of this group.
So Cruiser now gets the ruck contest. They've got to push it back from McKernan. Goes long. This is danger time for the Bombers here as Carlton start to put the grip on. Goddard is the man over the ball. Have another ball up.
So who's it going to be? Who is the bloke that can make just a statement right here?
What sort of ruck work do you want from Cruiser here? He's got McKernan. He can beat him. The ball will go up. Does he hit it hard or does he just drop it down, boys? We're about to see. Both hands on it. Cruiser goes hard, gets the ball. That's the sort of one they want to get. Cripps now makes some space. The kick comes out and Carlton, through Fisher, kicked the goal. Cruiser was always going to be the player to make the play in that situation. He got the free kick against McKernan. McKernan was nervous going down, and in the end, he just bullocked his way through the pack.
Yeah, great call, Ed. All about Matty Cruiser on this occasion. The follow-up is sensational. That's what Brendan Bolton was talking about pre-game. He wants Matty Cruiser, once the ball hits the ground, to have an impact in that area. He did on that occasion, keeps it alive for the Blues, and then the star, Paddy Cripps, cleans it up over to Fisher for a brilliant goal for the Blues. They're up and about, their body language is strong.
And you ask where you want to hit it, Ed. Somewhere in the vicinity of number 9 would help.
Yes.
Just in the postcode will do.
Just in the general area.
Good bounce to restart it. McKernan against Cruiser, kicked out of the congested area by Ed Kerno. Gets it to Charlie, who was quick onto it and then dumped. Kerridge can't do something with it. We'll get a ball in.
Well, Alex Cheselenko, the young man who was playing in that 68 grand final, would have enjoyed seeing the number 25 kick that goal. What a beauty, eh? Alex Cheselenko, one of the great names in the history of our game.
Couple of reunions this week. The Baby Bombers, the 93 Premiership reunion, and Carlton's 68 superstars. Zaharakis gets there, gave it up to Smith, flicked it back to Parrish, floats it toward the wing. Jones is down there, got up. Stewart from behind crashed the pack, but Rowe was waiting for it. Gave it to Mullet. Drives it towards half forward. There's that Goddard-Lamb matchup. Goddard was in front, but he didn't keep his feet. Lamb kept his. Gave it to Dow. He's away. Plenty of space. Options wide. Mackay. Charlie Curno's at full forward. He leads. Mackay sees him, ignores it.
Got Cripps in the goal square.
Yep, on
Heppel.
yep.
Dropping back. He might go all the way home. I'm not sure that's touched. It's there. Robert Walls loved it.
Well, let's be honest. I don't think Harry was going for goal. He saw the matchup that Eddie had called Cripps on Heppel. He liked it. Tried to hit the top of the square, Jono, and I think the breeze, which is fluky out here, just kept going. Just carried it. He's just half kicked that from outside 50.
Yeah, all he tried to do was keep to the advantage of Cripps. And in the end, it's sailed over the top of Heppel and Much trying to come back to help out. That's a good goal from Mackay.
There's a lot of discourse out there between the umpire and someone else.
Yeah, they're all having a go. Have a look at the clearances. 13-6. They've got the last 7. The Blues have kicked the last 3.
And coming into this, Essendon's centre bounce clearance differential has been horrible.
So they get another one, the Bombers, because guess who's got it? Cripps. Can he get it out? He does. He gets the handball. Almost a free kick, and it is, and they're going to get the centre break.
Well, it's resulting in inside 50s as well. 15-6 in Carlton's way.
Get a shot of Big Nick, the famous number 2 for Carlton, as Big Nick hands it over to Little Paddy, and Little Paddy's kick has been picked off there on this occasion by Hooker.
That is the nudge out there on Charlie Curnow from Ambrose was a free kick all day long.
So Goddard gets a little bit of space and takes the mark. He's moved off the line. The umpire didn't call him. So the handball goes out wide. Much. Handball's inside. Goddard. Much. Little kick forward. McDonald, Tippenwoody takes the mark and has it on centre wing.
Bill Chambers lurking with Cruiser on attacking 50 if he wants to launch it. He does, gets plenty of air on it. It's in the Stewart direction. He nearly raked it in. Ball in, but not a very dangerous area to go to, really. Blues would have been happy for the kick to go there.
It's time here for the Bombers. This is where they've got to keep the footy. You've got to show a little bit of heart, bit of commitment here to keeping the footy in their half of the ground.
Zaharakis tried to get it away, and surprise, Cripps got it again, gave it to Simpson. So another clearance from the area. Hooker sold it nicely. It's all about the kick. Stewart, O'Shea, Knuckles win. Ball in.
But it's even Simpson then. You know he's going to sit off the back of a stoppage. So as an Essendon forward group, they would have identified that during the week. For him to get easy handball receives like that is not good enough in terms of the pressure you're talking about.
And the flick down. Kerridge tried the quick flick on. Smith scrambles it towards Laverde. Forward pocket. Rowe tried to corral him. He ducked out of a tackle. That's a ball in. Forward pocket.
Well up there by Eleni. She saw exactly what he was doing, dropping his knees. Gary?
Third time they've been inside 50. Third repeat entry, so they'll take that. Got to keep building pressure here.
So Bellchambers back on the ground, has had his hand on the ball the last 3 throw-ins. He's doing really well. Merritt's kick was smothered. That was magnificent by guess who again? The best player on the ground by a street, and that's Cripps. And Carlton just growing in confidence at the moment.
And the young high draft picks here, O'Brien and Cripps and Dow are all starting to have a say. Mackay.
Hooker gets the mark, yeah. And well umpired again, didn't call a 50 because it was in dispute, but it was a fair mark too. So the kick goes forward, but getting back is Jones, who takes the mark. Now Carlton have got to get things moving here. Out to Simpson, the veteran. Holds it up. Doesn't panic. Little chip kick. They know there's a minute and a half on the clock here. And they would desperately like to take an 11-point lead in. So Mullet from the back pocket goes long up towards Curnow. Did he get pushed under it? No, they just misread the play. Picked up by Zaharakis. He goes back to Bagley, who is the last man. There's no one behind him on the MCG.
That's where Carlton's been excellent in this first quarter, in holding Essendon up, not allowing them to play on. Brendan Bolton spoke about it pre-game in the terms of manning the mark with intent and not allowing just that free-flow football.
Heppel's kick was a beauty, and Fantasia just dropped it. That should have been a free kick. He dropped the chest mark. The onus is then on you from there. He threw it out, but the umpire missed it. Anyway, goes forward now. Stewart, hands up. Simpson picks his pocket. Jones is there. Stringer for Essendon, number 25, trying to get at the ball. We'll have another bounce with 40 seconds on the clock.
Drop mark. I mean, what hope you got when you're going forward? I know Orazio's missed a fair bit of footy, so we can cut him a bit of slack. They've laid one tackle in their forward 50, Essendon.
Stringer gets it from the ball up, and he's immediately beset upon.
It's lived in there a bit for the last 5 minutes, which is good, but one tackle for the quarter in your forward 50 is not enough. 6 at the other end of the ground.
Big 33 seconds coming up here. The Blues have kicked the last 3 goals of this game. Bell Chambers flicks it down. Smith kept it alive, missed Goddard. Charlie Curnow scrambles it. The seconds keep rolling. Hooker cuts it off. He took the contact. Got the kick away just in time. Dyson Heppel drives it. Top of the square. McDonald, Tippin Woody down there. Thump clear. Cruiser in the role of Sharker. Gets it back again. Slung. More seconds tick down. Ambrose.
Gee, a goal here and the siren, as it sounds for quarter time, would be a great result for Essendon, because it would reaffirm what they've been trying to do and haven't been doing, and which has led to a 11-point deficit.
Smart play here. They're saying, get around. McKay, get on the mark. You're the tallest bloke.
Couple of dance steps from Ambrose. Drives it long. Has he got enough boot on it? It's long and a stump back. It might be over the line. It might have just carried. They'll go to the video, but they love it. And don't we, traditional Saturday afternoon, 2 old-fashioned Victorian rivals at the MCG. And it's a hot one. 4-1-25 to 3-2-20, but we're just reviewing it right now.
It's a great result. They've left in there the last 4 minutes of the game. They got repeat inside 50s. It's exactly what they needed. Now they just need the goal umpire to have it confirmed.
Has to be completely over. It's a goal.
It's a big goal.
It counts, and the Bombers take the momentum to quarter time. 4-1-25 plays 3-2-20. Plenty of footy coming away on Fox Footy, including some frivolity on a Sunday.
We can see John Worsfold just having a chat to Brendan Goddard now, whether it gets him on and pushes him forward for a few minutes, just to try and break up what Carlton have been so controlling in that first quarter with that tag from Jed Lamb.
5-point margin to start the second quarter. Bell Chambers favoured by the bounce. Flicks it in the Stringer direction. He hasn't had a big impact just yet. Simpson floats one wide. O'Brien, Zaharakis. Ball sits on its end. Zaharakis had it, but they had him. Hurley, boundary line was his sanctuary, and will get a ball in.
The clearances of the area that Essendon got to tidy up. 18-7 in favour of Carlton, and that's Cripps dominating. So Zach Merritt and Dyson Heppel and David Myers has got to dig their heels in.
So it's Myers next to Cripps here for this ball in. Ball flicked down towards the boundary again, and Myers content to see it out, but he's going to have to go back and do that same job again. Stop Cripps from getting it.
Yeah, and it's a huge job, but they just got to find a way, Dwayne. I mean, you continue to have one-way traffic like that, then you're on the back foot the whole day.
Zaharakis in some space to half forward. Almost Stewart. Arm half dragged down. O'Shea got it from Simpson. Heads long. Mackay. Hands on it, but couldn't mark it. Hooker crumbed his own work. Flicked it wide to Much, had a good first quarter. He gave it back again. McNeese braced for contact. Is that Pryor? It's high.
He gets the high. Well, it would have been holding the ball because you take on that first one.
And it was the umpire who was 60 metres off the play who picked that. So McNeese kicks to his captain. Beautiful mark. Great stuff. Dyson Heppel has to really lift his team today. Long bomb. Stewart the flyer. 2 Blues though get up and punch it away. Plowman just left it there for Cripps. They go in hard again. Nice little deft touch there by Curnow. Good stuff. The ball goes back though, close to the boundary line. Can Stringer conjure something from the boundary line? Oh, he hits the post, but it was over and out anyway. Throw in.
The last 5 minutes, I just can't say how important that was for Essendon, Jono. They were able to keep the footy in. They got repeat inside 50s that resulted in the goal. See if they can keep this up here early in the second.
Play on, says the umpire. Well called. Thomas's kick comes out, but it's coming straight back because Saad takes the mark.
Better pressure, causing that rush kick out of the back half for the Blues.
Every Blue in front of him, Saad. He loads up, goal square. Fists come. Cripps again crumbs it. Gave it towards Rowe. Some players can sense the ball coming from a kick away. Cripps can smell it coming from the factory. He is amazing.
Well, I'm also not sure long, high and slow is ideal for this Essendon forward line. That's just playing into Liam Jones's strengths.
Thomas wide, hooker, hunts it. Mackay did enough, got it down. Fisher caught though, stripped. Still fights on. Great battle between these two at the moment. High stakes affair. Thomas around the body. Ed Curnow with Merritt. Tagging job. Has to stop Merritt from getting it. Merritt gets it. Flicks it back. Turned it over to right. He bangs it. Lamb's on the run. McNeese with him. McNeese. Lamb. McNeese. Still a chance. Third man in. Graham spins it around the body and misses his moment.
Should have made more of that.
They could have.
They had him in all sorts.
They did. Whether that quick handball was on to Lamb, who was actually facing the goals.
It's amazing what happens if you bang the ball forward sometimes too, boys, isn't it?
Yeah, and to even numbers there.
Yeah,
you
right.
bang it forward to a one-on-one and then back your player in.
Thank you. Next team.
So Zaharakis at defensive 45 on the outer side of the MCG. Not much on, so he goes for the short pass. It was a good kick. So Myers has it.
So looking for a change, but it's a bit predictable at the moment.
Long up the line. Tip and Woody went for the big fly across the front of the pack. Stewart over the top, tries to shovel it out.
Fall of the ball of a marking contest for Essendon in their forward half is all Carlton. Their first back to support that marking contest. So the Fantasia may need to look at his positioning, Devon Smith and the like, Tip and Woody to get front and square of the contest.
Big battle. Bell Chambers and Cruiser at the moment, just developing a little battle within the war here today at the MCG. Cripps again was the man who got the only effective possession in that passage of play. We'll have another ball up on centre wing.
I see Liam Jones ahead of this, so he's a kick away as a lone defender. He's on his own, so anything that comes in high and long is just going to be gobbled up by Carlton.
So as Gary says, McKernan is the only player there for Essendon against 2 tall Carlton defenders. Merritt, Hurley, the kick up the line, and Carlton got the numbers here and the safety of the boundary line and a throw in. No, free kick, push.
Your free kick.
So in the back, free kick going to Cameron O'Shea.
Push in the back. No, I don't know who it was. Someone.
On the VFL best and fairest for the Blues last year after being delisted by Port. Gets a second chance at AFL.
Fair enough from the umpire. Doesn't have to call the game as well as umpire.
That's right.
Been plenty of nouns and verbs from the umpires this afternoon as Curnow floats in. Saad and Hurley back to Saad, had a bounce, took him on, got a shepherd from McNeese, hard shepherd too, no one to go to. 8-metre kick to Hurley, he blasts it back towards the wing. McDonald, Tip and Woody flies, couldn't bring the mark down. Dyson Heppel went to ground. Did he take legs? He did. It's Carlton's ball. Took the legs according to the umpire. O'Shea to Thomas. Simpson, good movement this. Wright looks up. Who does he want? McDonald, Tip and Woody cuts him down. Wobbles one. And Zaharakis, good saving mark with splendid use of the body.
Goes to Heppel again on defensive 50. So Heppel, the equal leading disposal winner on the ground. In fact, he goes to the top now with 13 disposals. Getting amongst it today. Needs to, the skipper.
Slow ball movement forward for the Bombers.
Yep. Stringer asks for it and gets it delivered his way. Stands and takes the mark. So Jack Stringer for his third disposal. Little chip over the top. March took a step. Dale Thomas does well, holds him up. Stringer's kick to the hot spot will be good. And that's where you've got to kick it sometimes. Just get it into where it's dangerous. And McKernan meets it full-chested. Will line up from 30 metres out on a 45-degree angle to put Essendon back in front.
Sean, that's your line.
And again, it was slow, but because it was slow ball movement, it gave Essendon a chance to get ahead of the play and even that number up. So they were able to. It wasn't a great kick, it dropped short, but it just had McKernan, who was there with an opponent, was able to read it quicker.
So Sean McKernan, who grew up in playing for Tullamarine, where the Bombers are now based, coming in for his kick at goal, and just looked like a trotter that broke as he approached. High ball drop, didn't get near it, through for a behind. So 34-29 he's kicked in his career. Sean McKernan coming in today's game, he's now got 35-29.
Hold there, don't hold him.
Thomas.
Wait there.
Hemmed in, back pocket. 6 down the line. Cruiser, if he can get up, or Cripps. Cruiser and Cripps went for it, neither got it. Myers wrapped up.
This is why you got some clearance domination. 18-10 the clearances, and the two at the top of that contested possession list of having a big say in proceedings. Cruiser and Cripps.
Goddard's hands were slick to Parrish. Bagley's kick high. Myers wobbles it towards the top of the square. Stewart, first chance he's had. McKernan, or was he tripped, or did he fall? Stewart got it back again and kicks it behind. That was bizarre.
It was, but they're enjoying a little patch here and just haven't cashed in.
Yeah, those repeat entries you're talking about are important. Their pressure around Carlton on the exit has been a lot better as well, with Carlton having to just dump kick it out on a number of occasions.
They need to mark Carlton. Curnow almost did it. Oh, that was beautiful. Front and square by Wright. Hit the pack beautifully. Gets his own ball again. Kerridge goes backwards to Cripps. Cripps goes forward this time. And they'll look for the boundary, I would have thought, here. And they do. And they find it and we'll have a throw in.
And they're doing this, Carlton. They have a lead without Charlie Curnow having any influence on proceedings at all. It's just the one possession. So his positioning also would need to be looked at. But Ambrose is a good player, doing a good job.
Well, Kerridge stood there on his own for 5 minutes. In the end, he tossed it up. Fantasia, that's almost a throw. It wasn't Fantasia, in fact, it was Laverde. Cruiser will come back for the special effects from Gary Lyon in a moment. And the mark has been taken by Zaharakis. So some of the better-known Essendon players just getting enough of it at the moment. Zaharakis has been good.
And the R was to Sam Petrevski-Seton, who's a young man, but you've got to stay in line with the footy until you take possession. And he took his backside out of it and ended up giving the footy away. And as a result of him not wanting to take some body contact, Essendon having a shot at goal.
So Zaharakis coming in to put the Bombers in front. And the professional that he is splits the middle, and David Zaharakis gets his first goal. Essendon back in front.
It's hard, Jono, but he's been around long enough, Petrevski-Seton. In fact, you expect that of every player, and occasionally you will excuse it from a young bloke, but you will never accept it. And I think they'll be disappointed with that. And Zaka made him pay.
Well, he got the marking contest against Daisy Thomas and was able to influence that contest, stay in front, stay strong. And that's a big goal for the Bombers. They're really starting to build now, got their game back on their terms.
Kicked the last 2 goals, Essendon. Steady the ship.
I don't want to see that.
And grabbed the lead. Umpire continues to coach. Dale Thomas, I don't want to see that.
Goddard on the wing now.
Restart. Mackay, Graham, Fisher. Floats it in the Cripps direction. Can he get up? Off hands, Garlett might crumb it. Bagley got their first lamb. Wrapped him up straight away.
Well, Cripps has just come straight back onto the ground. He's gone to the half-forward line. Michael Hurley's matched him up.
Boys, what do you think about the umpire saying, I don't want to see that? Should they just wait and see something and blow the whistle and give a free?
No, I don't mind. I don't mind the first warning.
Yep.
Hooker scrambles it. Lang did okay. Fisher looks up. It's got Dow. 50 from goal. Tried to shake and back on Zaharakis. He wouldn't buy it. Marlett almost within range if he spanks it. He's got a lot on it. It's not long enough. Curnow, just when we thought we hadn't seen him, he takes a ripper.
Yeah. Well, that's where he had a mark taken away from him inside the goal square. But this would be the area, I think, where Ambrose is going to be most vulnerable. Ambrose is a great athlete. We know Charlie Curnow's a great athlete, so they're probably pretty well matched for around the ground. But a couple of times now, top of the goal square.
Plays on, bends it around the body, and drills it with a fist pump. Blues are back in front.
Top of the goal square might be the place to be. I mean, it's nice to be able to run like he can, Jono, but occasionally you've got to play to your strength, and your strength might be marking here on Ambrose.
Now look at it over the top of Hooker as well. That's why this mark is a huge one from Curnow. Hooker in dominant position, didn't give up on the contest. That's a big grab there from Curnow.
Yeah, I reckon, well, Carl Hooker wouldn't mind that one again. No. Just be a bit more fierce in that marking contest.
Oh, once he gave his back to the contest, I think he was under a lot of pressure there. Hooker in turn, instead of maybe turning side on a little bit just to give himself a tiny launch at the ball.
First contested mark for Carlton for the day. Curnow gets it. Interesting that he played on from that position, but he was 5-5 for set shots this season.
Here we go.
So he has been a little bit wobbly in front of the goal. So
he's been horrible, to be honest. Yeah. So that's not a bad result.
Yeah, he'll take that every time. So Big Mackay goes in for the ruck for a little while for the Carlton side. Give Cruiser a bit of breathing space as the ball comes out to the wing position. Evenly poised match at the moment. The Bombers through Fantasia get the handball going.
Play on.
Now, what happened there? That was an advantage free kick. It's going to come back.
Wow.
That's good umpiring.
I called the free kick simultaneous to when he kicked it.
Important period for Carlton as well, Ed, because you've got Cripps sitting at full forward, you've got Cruiser off the ground having a spell, so they need to hold their nerve in there as a midfield group.
And that was magnificent umpiring by Matt Stevic. He called it simultaneously and he got it right. Well played. Good stuff. McKenna on centre wing.
Still mine.
Inside 50 it goes. Stewart over the line. They're targeting Stewart here as well. Plowman's been going to him all the time. A lot of one-on-one, not let him get any space at all.
The free kick was there, being played against Jed Lamb, I think, for holding on. 6-3, the clearance is in Essendon's favour while Cripps is resting, Jono. That's the battle you've got.
Goddard bangs it top of the square. Fantasia down there. Razzle dazzle. Read the bounce. Kicked it out of the air and missed. It was good to have him back.
It is, but that's another clearance. 7-3 now. Matty Wright just getting some running repairs.
Simpson, the ever-reliable. Out towards Cripps, who crashes the pack. Fall of the ball, Curnow. Ed slaps it on the boot. Hooker, good stuff, good vision. Gets it out to Goddard. Sweeping handball to Bagley. Double grabbed it, but had enough time to get it to McNeese. McNeese on the left boot. Heppel's out wide. That's where he's looking. The skipper's there, does it beautifully. Used his body, got in line with the ball, held the position, and will line up to put the Bombers back in front.
The other one that was important in that contest was McDonald, Tip and Woody. Didn't give away the free kick on Liam Jones. Just put enough body on to restrict his run at the contest as well. Allowed Heppel to take that mark.
In the end, it was, I think, Graham almost bumped Dyson Heppel into the mark.
So Dyson Heppel to kick his career 49th goal. Comes in from 45 metres out. The Essendon cheer squad like it a lot. The umpire doesn't move. It's a beautiful goal. Bombers back in front from the captain.
A big goal there from Dyson Heppel. He's having a great game of football this afternoon. Goddard's gone back to the wing. He's been involved the last couple of plays for Essendon, transitioning the ball inside 50. You see Heppel over the top there. McNeese with the long kick in. There's McDonald, Tip and Woody. Just enough buddy on Jones without giving away the free kick to allow Heppel to go back and kick the goal, Gary. The other one I want to talk about quickly is Zach Merritt. And he's only had the 3 or 4 disposals in this game so far. Would you try anything different with Merritt, or you just let him go? He's getting the tag from Curnow today.
Well, he needs a bit of support, bit of a job out too. I mean, I don't think we saw it from Brendan Goddard early in the piece, and it's almost a matter at the moment for him saying, well, you go and sort it out yourself. But he does have to work through it, I reckon, Jono. Maybe he can go small forward.
Cruiser to Cripps. It's just beautiful to watch. Cripps again to Simpson. Hammers it towards Mackay. Fist from Hooker was good, but he landed it straight into O'Brien's lap. Bombers have players around it, but Lamb did well. He turned into three of them. Lift doors closed, and he's gone.
Good work from Bagley. He was put off the ball by Lamb, hit the ground, bounced back up, and laid the effective tackle.
Hands it off to Sard. He's got Fantasia down the spine.
Still being up here.
Much is running for him. So a couple of options. Heads out wide. Laverde, arm chop, gets a free.
It's opened up a bit and they're getting in behind Carlton, and they look far more dangerous when they go forward now, the Bombers.
Bill Chambers looking at full forward. Laverde might crank up on this. He pokes it to the top of the square. Bill Chambers, McKernan, McDonald, Tippenwoody crashed it. Mullet slams it on the boot, gets it in the Jones direction. Gee, in fact, he had to really commit there, Mackay, because he had two against him, and he held his ground beautifully, the youngster.
It's a great effort.
Hooker's got the angry pills at the moment. He's trying to clean a few up.
Well, Mackay stood his ground fantastically well on that occasion.
Ed Curnow wide. Right, Gathers. Kerridge got runners inside. He's got the chip kick outside. Plowman takes the mark for the Blues.
This is Harry Mackay just jogging through the middle of the ground. He's got to work harder to get deeper. He's a bit cooked, the young fella, as he heads back towards the goal square, but this is about the work rate that they need. Sloppy handball means they get a stoppage, so he gets a chance to suck in some air. I know he's working hard. That's what the best forwards do. They get up, they get back.
So throw in. There you go, non-nominated ruckman. And almost 50 there, so they're just milking that one there.
David Myers gave the ball to Zach Fisher.
Yep, should have been 50. Umpire couldn't see everything. Merritt, Kerridge for Carlton, dives in on top.
Uncontested marks this quarter, 13-3 in favour of the Bombers. So that's another indication that the game's opened up a little bit, and that the pressure isn't there that it was early in the piece.
They're getting better run from behind as well from those uncontested marks, guys.
Bell Chambers. Cruiser goes in a second time. Bombers clear the pack and bring it back to defensive 50. Fortuitously it bounces for Goddard, and then, like a cake of soap, hit him right in the mush, Bell Chambers. Kerridge goes in, twisting and turning. Little underground, beautiful one. Curnow's kick, this could bounce through. Which one will go? It's bounced through. It's a goal. Sometimes kicking it forward pays off. And Ed Curnow kicks the goal for the Blues.
And look at these teammates celebrate hard, nearly rip his head off. McNeese in the goal square. Could he have got to this? He waited for the bounce. Not too sure. We'll find out on replay. Quick kick in there from Curnow. There's McNeese. No, was never going to get there.
Nah, he was worried about it coming back the other way. Curnow's have kicked the last two goals here. That one a little bit against the flow, although this is a really even contest. Real even contest. Centre-bounce clearances this quarter have gone in favour of Carlton as it has all afternoon. So that's the one area that they haven't been able to wrestle back a bit, the Bombers.
Brendan Bolton downstairs, looks composed. You never really know if he's drowning or waving, Brendan Bolton. Press conferences are always very watchable. From the ball up, Cruiser and Bell Chambers towed off the deck, gets it wide. Race on. Kerridge, hip and shoulder was good with McDonald. Tippenwoody, he rode the bump. Smith back inside 50. McKernan was at the back of the pack, waiting for it to get over the back. Plowman, Jones, Plowman. This is the kick. And Goddard's taken the mark, I think.
Yeah, he's back in the game. He's back in the game now, Brendan Goddard. Been played on the wing from John Worsfold. Started on the bench in this second quarter, went straight to the wing, and has been freed up.
So Goddard comes with the kick. He needs McKernan, he needs Stewart to get into the play. Merritt around the corner, kicks to the hot spot. Almost a roving goal there to Fantasia. Rush behind.
Well, you speak about Goddard, who's now up to 9 disposals. I don't see any reason why Jed Lamb can't go to him on the wing. He's currently on the bench, having a rest, but when he comes back on, no reason he can't go straight back to him.
So from the kick out, Cruiser just blocked nicely there by Goddard. Did it well. Let Bellchambers get up and take the mark.
This is good, Ed. This is repeat entries for Essendon. Back in it goes. More pressure on Carlton.
Hurley, here we go. McKernan, the big fly. Up he goes and hit him right in the face. Fantasia at the back of the pack. Dives in on top of it. Good play by McDonald. Woody in the back. Carlton free kick on the last line of defence to Simpson.
So Simpson will get to bring it out again, but they've got to. Essendon have got to sense this. Jake Stringer a couple of times had an opportunity to lay big tackles and build that pressure in the forward half, but he missed. Right now you've got to sense you've got your opponent under a bit of pressure here.
Long launch in the Cruiser direction again. Curnow, third man in. Ball to the back. Ambrose, Goddard. Fake to hand it off. Pokes the pass. Much. Hit the deck according to the umpire. Gee, that'll be an interesting one on replay.
It will be, but I am enjoying the work of Kobe Much. Here's the replay here. That's a mark. That's a mark.
Wow, he's upset.
No wonder. And Fantasia had a case also for having his legs taken out at full forward moments ago. Complained to the umpire. Umpire gave him nothing. Bagley gave it up. Ambrose sends it to the pocket. And the fists of Jones get it out.
So the next part of this for Essendon is they're getting repeat inside 50s is to stop going to the same spot.
Yeah.
To stop driving it in 50 metres long and high.
High, slow ball.
Just to try and lower their eyes and try and find someone inside 50.
Blues by a point. Back into play. Bellchambers clever. Fantasia to Myers. Gets away from one tackle. Touch ball. Mark won't be paid. And McKernan held Jones unnecessarily, really. As soon as he heard touched off the boot, the mark was never going to be paid anyway. Jones to the pocket, to Ed Curnow, to Cripps. Dainty little touch kick to Mullet. And a hush falls over the MCG. Heads wide toward that last skerrick of sunshine at the end that the Blues are kicking to.
It just free kick just released the pressure a little bit. It's like they had the Reebok pumps on and they just kept pumping them up and then just released.
They did.
Released a little bit there with that free kick from McKernan on Liam Jones.
So the crowd a little bit hushed because the flow of the game is a lot of pressure. Just not a lot of linkages in the play. Follow the ball again. It flicks out and Carlton will leave this time. Where do they go? There's nothing on. So a chance here now for Rowe. Crashes through. Just gets a toe pot. Garlett needs to break the lines. He gets the handball over the top. Now Carlton have got some numbers up forward if they can get this ball. But they can't. Great play by McKenna. McKenna goes to Hurley. Now the Bombers can turn it around.
That's the next part. They went long and high and slow again and they didn't win any ground footy. So again, it's this next bit. They're enjoying a bit of ascendancy in winning the footy. They can't find a target when they go forward.
We've got a 2-on-1 here. McKernan is one, but it's a shocking kick. Stringer was lurking over the back. So next kick important. Garlett has it on half-back flank. Goes inside to Cruiser, who marks. Now, Cripps. Cripps looks up. Curnow. The good players are getting it. Cripps' kick was a bad one on that occasion. Petchevsky's seat, no, he just waited for it to come out. He'll get a chance now. That's a 360. Gone.
Super tackle, Harry Mackay. Great kick into the middle of the ground. Just change the angles when you go forward.
So Cruiser looks for it short. Mackay goes long and strong, but getting back as hooker. Ball hits the deck. Kerridge keeps it in play. Wright tries to get the handball going. Goddard twisting and turning. Hooker gets onto the left boot, just pokes it up. Oh, it's a good kick. And they'll get out of defence. The Essendon side through much.
Got Darcy Parish running through the middle of the ground. You've got Zach Merritt on this side of the ground. They've got to try their best to get it to change the direction they go forward. This doesn't help them.
Both those players, Merritt and Parish, only 5 disposals in the game so far.
Good leap from Stringer, but he couldn't bring it down. Smith does gather the crumb and they run hard. Fantasia's there for him. Stringer's there for him. Good gather by Stringer. Opens up the angle. He might be back in town. He isn't. He needed that. The Bombers needed it. He needed it. John Worsfold needed it. And they didn't get it. Scores 11.
Well, it was a great effort, actually, because he contested the mark over on the half-forward flank.
He had a huge fly at it.
His work rate was able to get him back into position to get the footy again.
So Carlton 8 scoring shots, Essendon 13. And scores a level. Now, They're playing ring-a-ring-a-rosy here, the defenders. Now it's called play on. Mackay gets edged under the ball too easily on that occasion, and the mark has been taken by Patrick Ambrose. Ambrose to the top of the square. McKernan in the green boots, flies high, couldn't quite take the mark. They all dive in on top. McKernan goes hard, and again they're looking for a stoppage, both sides, and they get it.
And again, long, high and slow, which is okay if you're winning ground ball, but they can't take a contested mark, and they've been out-crumbed in their forward half as well.
So Matty Wright come from the ground. He's gone down into the rooms in the hands of the doctors for the Blues.
Yeah, he's got that bandage on his head. Look at that cruiser. Taps it down, runs it beautifully. Now Kerridge has to get going here. Has to win the race for the run at the ball here, but McNeice gets across, ran harder and faster. Around the corner he goes to Goddard. Needs to get past Cruiser. Cruiser was magnificent.
What about that effort, Eddie? There's your ruckman who won the clearance, and then he ran as hard as anyone to get up and lay the tackle.
Great play by Matthew Cruiser. That half-back flank just toe pokes it out. Daisy Thomas.
Move it on. Play on.
Cripps.
Right out.
And we're back where we started.
16th possession coming up.
So Cripps comes out to row.
Hold.
Holds it up. They're slowing it up, Carlton, at the moment. They've got Garlett out on the southern stand side. If they look up and see him, Simpson misses him, but he goes inside with a kick. And we've had 7 possessions and gone backwards 30 metres.
Yeah, and there's a minute 20 on the clock, so clearly they don't want to give the footy away.
In the end, they'll go long to a one-on-one, and it'll be Cruiser and Bell Chambers. They end up getting a bit more of a pack, but it was pretty much the same effect. Ball goes over the line, out of bounds. So minute 8 on the clock. Scores level at the MCG.
Other side out.
Bombers got one late to end the opening term to get some momentum at quarter time. All tied up here as Lang tried to get it. Myers was stripped of it. Lang back in, towed away from him. Petrescu-Seaton, this time he beelines it, tries to go straight through the pack with the legs driving. He must have heard Gary Lyon earlier. Didn't turn out of contact then, and we'll get another ball up. Cruiser, Bell Chambers. McNeice tried to go off the deck. Nearly took legs and arms. Ball flicked out. Smith. Graham got there first. Turned it over. Parrish chisels it. Stringer had a chance. McKernan had a chance. Daisy Thomas jumps in. Ball up with 34 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, if they had, I mean, that's the right kick, that one, Dwayne. Just had to hit the target.
Good spot for a ball up here for the Bombers. Stringer, McKernan, Bell Chambers, Heppel, they're all around it, waiting for it. Dow got it. They got him. Bell Chambers scrambled it forward. Didn't get the bounce he was after. Carlton get the bounce they were after. A few seconds left to mop up here. Not enough time, you wouldn't think, for a Carlton score, but plenty of time for a turnover.
And they're all running over to the left of screen.
Start behind.
Almost a huddle there, Gary, but no one breaks in the end, and Daisy Thomas kicks it up towards Mackay. Mackay gets under the ball again on that occasion. Petrescu-Seaton goes in this time, tries to get the handball out, or the kick at least. Carlton just looking for the boundary line. They end up picking up and going for a torpedo up towards the wing position. Essendon have the numbers. McKenna twisting and turning, breaks the tackle. Little chip kick. Oh, good meeting of the bodies there. And Garlett goes down, picks himself up, so too does Much. And that's it for the first half of football at the MCG, and Essendon lead by a point. 5-9-39 to Carlton 6-2-38.
Let's head downstairs. Nick Dalcetto.
Well, we've got an absolute ripping game on our hands. We thought we were going to get that. Don't go anywhere. After the break, we're going to have a chat to one of the Bombers officials from the inner sector about what exactly has been going on with their third quarters.
They've lost every third quarter this year. We'll find out what they're going to do today shortly when we head down to the Bombers' rooms. Stick around, big second half coming up. Plenty of footy coming away on Fox Footy. Still one of the most watchable shows of the week. Open mic.
From Dow, whether he's going to come back at some stage.
He warmed up with the players as they came out after half time, so he kind of tried to see if he was okay. biggest margin of this game's been 11 points. Carlton held that. They led by 5 at quarter time. It's a 1-point game now. From the ball up to start this second half, Petrevski-Seaton can't break free. Myers had him locked up. Parrish somehow. Heppel floats it. Blues have an extra back. Mullet goes up. Merritt off hands. Delightful. The ideal start for the Bombers.
Yeah, and I'd have to say, as there's a bit of a dust up here, that Aaron Mullet, if you're going to go and jump and fly and leave Zach Merritt on the ground. I mean, here's the matchup. I mean, you can see when we see the replay, you'll see the foreground. There's 7 and 18. There's your matchup there. So he comes in. What's Mullet doing here? I mean, he's just leaving Zach Merritt on the ground, and that is, from a defensive point of view, don't go and leave your man unless you're going to kill the contest 20-25 metres away. When you've got a side that can't play in third quarters, to hand them a goal like that, shocking.
So confidence up for the Bombers. First goal inside 15 seconds. Ball up. Big Cruz has been great today. Bellchambers gets a little tap forward. McDonald Tippenwoody comes in with a good bump. Ed Curnow tries to flick it out. Saad for Essendon. Little handball was going to Zaharakis, who stopped to put the block on. And as a result, we get another ball up.
Well, Hayden Skipworth, we're talking to Nick D'Alessandro there at three-quarter time. Structurally changed some things up. Merritt's been out of the contest in terms of around the midfield as the players are just getting a little bit physical.
Well, there's no doubt the Bombers... Sorry, keep going.
I know, just with Merritt, he's positioning forward now, Ed, consistently.
No doubt the Bombers have been fired up. They know the stats about the third quarter. They've come out, they're niggling, they're getting into everybody out there at the moment. Now can they get that onto the scoreboard? That's the big question. McNeese's kick was smothered by O'Brien. And Ricochet's back, though. Has spread, and McKernan has it on centre wing on the outer side. Little chip forward. Parrish needs to get into the game. Sits and waits, and as a result of that, the ball always bounces past you when you're down on confidence. Down. Handball. Carlton need to get on the board quickly here. They can't let this game blow out early in this third quarter. Rowe. Now the big opportunity here for Bellchambers. Did well. Got through. Little toe poke off the ground from Fisher. Did well again. Now it comes out to Daisy Thomas, an experienced player. Looks up. Holds onto the ball, and Carlton will go from centre wing.
Thought Cripps could have gone earlier, had Ed Curnow out, goal side. He decided to go conservatively. They don't want to be conservative. They'll try and press their advantage, or any advantage they had early in this game, and ask the question of a side who have been vulnerable at this stage of games.
Lamb told to go. Bagley doesn't come at him. Just lets him kick it up long. Cruiser, hands on it. Hooker, hands on it. Ed Curnow almost missed his shoe. Charlie's got it, but they've got him.
I guess I'd ask you the same question about Ed Curnow and Zach Merritt. He did a very fantastic job on Zach in the first half. Zach started this game forward, and now they've got Plowman playing on him.
Well, as long as he's high. If he's high like he is now, Merritt, then yeah, Curnow can do that role. If he takes him deep, roll over.
Devon Smith blasts it long, hoping for Stewart. Jones got there, good pluck.
He's got to be more competitive in the air, James Stewart. Much more competitive. Halve the contest. At very, very worst, halve that contest.
So Jones kicks up the line. Cruiser again, and Bellchambers go to Cruiser. Good mark. They call the play on, and he eventually does what he probably thought he should have done in the first place. And that's why, because I think, Gary, if they can take a few big marks today, someone inside 50, it's going to be the difference. And on this occasion, it's one of the stars, Charlie Curnow. Now, he's got to go back and have a set shot. He's 5-5 this year from set shot kicks from 48 metres out.
This is what he hasn't been doing well, but he worked Ambrose over beautifully there, and he got him up and then hit back hard, turned him around. And that's what he needs to do.
So Curnow comes in. He's kicked 12 goals, 16 in his career. This time he starts it out left, and dare we say we tipped it.
Got him for a steal, really, Charlie Curnow, pick 12. He is looming ominous as one of the best contested marks inside 50 in the comp in the coming years. He was the third best key forward last year behind Franklin and Joe Danaher. Might go past both of those this year. Saad goes past a tackler. and kicks it out on the full. Turnover. Charlie Curnow, the man we were speaking of, has got it. Cripps is at full forward. He sits it up long. Can Cripps get the run at it? Middle of the pack, he almost got it. Myers made it somebody else's problem, really. And Thomas drops the mark. Slung, cooked. Sard wrapped him up. 2 mistakes there from David Thomas.
Take this off him here.
Just get up and take the ball, please.
Well, it's a horrible missed opportunity from Daisy Thomas there. He and Charlie Curnow could have raffled it, and neither of them ended up with a footy.
Play on.
Zaharakis back to Bagley. He's got Stringer on the open side. He's in a one-on-one with O'Brien. He had the experience and the power. He had no intention of playing on quickly, though, as if that was exactly the game style they're going with in this third.
It's the way they're set up forward of the ball, Dwayne, because he had to stop because he had no one to kick to. Jake Stringer.
Called for the quick one from Zaharakis there, but he ignored him.
They're on here.
Hurley. It's a mongrel. Go and get that. Go chase that one down. And he can't get anywhere near it, Laverde. And he doesn't cook his teammate. Probably wasn't necessary. Hurley knows that was a big bloop.
Well, if you're going to, back half, they're not hard kicks, those, Dwayne. You're kicking to an uncontested footballer in your back half, and you've missed him by 30 metres and dribbled it out of bounds. And you're on a big pay packet.
Summed that up pretty well.
Well, boys, Matty Wright is ready to come back on. We saw him go off in the second quarter with a head knock. He's had the head bandaged. He also came off late in that quarter, went into the rooms with a left ankle. And as I look at him now ready to come back on, he's actually got one of those pre-made moulded ankle braces ready to go over his sock. So he's ready to come back on.
Okay, in the meantime, Simpson just gets the handball out. Did enough O'Brien. Back to Simpson. 60 out. He goes wider still. Mackay picks it up outside the 50-metre arc. Eventually he picks it up. Around the body he goes. Umpire said out of bounds. Throw it in.
Keep going, you two. Fantastic. Coming in.
This is the cause of that bandage on Matty Wright. That was early on in the game.
Or head clash at the back there. And I think he did open up the back of his head. He's still got a little bit of blood under that bandage. You can just see when we get a shot from behind eventually. Cruiser out of the ruck, does it nicely, up towards Curnow. That is sensational play on goal. Two of the great players in this Carlton side. The blokes that need to stand up did on that occasion. Cruiser out of the ruck, Curnow at full forward, goal to the Blues, scores a level.
Message has to come out. Get the ball long quickly, because you look at this one here. Curnow one-on-one. Deep. He's dominated that position all day. The one before that, Simpson had a chance to go launch to him and he went wide. The ball went out of play. That's what they have to do, Gaz.
The message has got to go to Charlie too. Just pack away the running shoes for a moment, put your lead boots on and camp yourself in the goal square, because 4 times he's outmarked Paddy Ambrose on the 0 to 15 area, and he outmarked Ambrose and Hooker down the other end. So forget about the
spikes off.
Forget about the marathon. Let's just go the short sprint.
Again, the biggest margin to either team has been 11 points. It's been tight from the outset. Cripps tried to get it away. Stolen. He had his mind read by McKenna. He goes long to McKernan. No mark, no arm chop. Good enough to land like a cat. Get a kick away, but it's a behind. Gee, I thought he got a bit of front-on contact with an arm.
Liam Jones coming back with the flight. Didn't look like he hit all the ball, Dwayne.
Yeah.
Well, Brendan Goddard's also come back on. He's gone to the wing. That's the second quarter in a row. He sat on the bench for the first 7.5 minutes.
So Plowman's kick out goes over the top of the pack. Simpson swoops on the ball. He has nothing coming towards him, so he has to go for the marathon run. Has a bounce, kicks inside. Good kick too. Mark taken there by Petrevsky. Seaton inside he goes now. Graham. Next kick important. It's a high up and under. Cruiser's got the set. Up he goes almost. Good play by Bellchambers at the fall of the ball. Carlton got the numbers. Little handball inside from Dow. Now it's Lamb. Squares it up and Cruiser kept running. And Cruiser is putting his influence on this third term.
He is, Eddie. His athleticism and his willingness to run after the initial contest is what would make, ruckman of yesteryear just look at and go, how do they do that? Because it used to be good enough to win the tap and then leave it to the rest of the sort of midfield. But this bloke's work rate's been outstanding.
So Matty Cruiser coming in. He has set up a couple of the last goals. He gets his chance. It's been Curnow, Ed Curnow, Charlie Curnow, cruiser from 15 metres out and misses the lot.
You're creeping to the middle.
Wow.
You played on, you went to the middle.
That's a bad miss. That is a bad miss. When goals are at a premium, what are we? 7 goals to 6 halfway through the third quarter.
Spear pass in, and Laverde collects it and takes it out. Essendon, as we've mentioned a couple of times, have not won a third quarter this year. Hawthorn outscored them last week, 6 goals, 3 to 1 point.
8-1 tackles this quarter, Dwayne, to the Bombers. So that's one way they're trying to make a difference.
Right, back on, trying to shovel it out. Cruiser knows he owes them one. Bill Chambers picked his pocket, got it to Laverde, flicked it to Stewart. Hasn't seen much of it, goes inside to Heppel, being hunted. Pushed in the back, and it'll come back. It won't be downfield.
Just there. Just hold there.
There's the nudge, almost a professional free kick, really. He sits it on Hooker, who goes up, did well.
Oh, no.
And launched it, hoping someone would be there, and it bounces. Lang can let it roll through. It was too easy.
You know, the problem with Essendon is that they need someone to come at the ball. Everyone goes back towards goal all the time, Gaz. They never have one for a kick like that coming at the footy on the lead.
It's set up for a long time.
Modern game, Jono.
It can be the modern game, but you can still have a forward to reset, to come at a kicker, rather than everyone going back towards goal every single time.
I couldn't have said it any better.
So Fisher has the ball on half-back flank, goes out wide. Ball hits the deck. Lamb handballs back to Daisy Thomas. Thomas concedes some ground. They can set up again, Carlton. Big kick, needed to mark and got it from Garlett. Looks up. They're out here on the broadcast side, the member side of the MCG, but he turns his back on the play, goes wide to Thomas again. The experienced Thomas. Short kick to Fisher. So just edging forward at the moment, Carlton. Plowman. Mackay is at centre half forward. They decide to come out to mull it on the member side of the ground. Little short kick now. O'Shea. Chips. Kerridge. Building. Curnow presents. So goes over his head. Mackay has to fly, and again he gets edged under the ball. He's done it 3 times today, and Hurley just takes the mark at the back of the pack.
It's a slow build, Ed. If you're waiting for the house, it's a slow build at the moment. There's no one's prepared to go quick, get the ball on, and I think Jono's point earlier, there's no one ahead of the footy to go to, like running back to goal again here. Now Heppel's out.
Quick pass, good from Smith to Heppel. He looks up, he's got Fantasia over the top, needs to be good. Fantasia, open goal. He's back. The Raz is back.
Fantasia involved. Fantastic in the end. Yes, they get one. First one for the day, like it. But this is what I'm talking about, Gary. When you look, this was earlier in the game. Fantasia looks up, he's got a player coming towards him, but you'd like a player coming from behind that towards him as well. So therefore, he's got the easier outlet kick. Otherwise, just it's too easy to defend from a Carlton point of view in terms of having their numbers back. Yes, they got lost on that passage of play there. Essendon's ball movement was very good to get them through, but with no one deep consistently, it lets Essendon down, and maybe that's the Joe Danaher factor. Maybe Stewart needs to reset to that position. It's Laverde. I'm not sure who it is, but I think they still know, or a stringer even, who's not really involved in the game. Get him out of the goal square coming at the football.
It can be a simple game sometimes. Stewart took an overhead mark and then got it quickly with good skills to his captain, who got it to Fantasia. Sometimes they call it cheating, Gary. Sometimes it's called reading the play. Yeah. It paid off for the Bombers on that occasion. They lead by 7 points. Umpires picked out another free kick. And there's a free kick going to Carlton. Kerridge will get it for being legged.
So Charlie Curnow, this is the area that he's been so good.
So Cripps and Curnow have drifted forward, but we'll get a shot at goal here.
And that's good play, because now you start to look for a long ball in, and you have an option of someone coming at you. So it's all about making it hard to defend. Once you become predictable, opposition set up for you. But Graham has to recognise, yep, I'm as dangerous as anyone. I'll come at the footy.
11 goals, 16 in his 41 games. He needs to kick this one because the Bombers just sneaking out to a 7-point lead. Graham comes in. Kick is on its way. Looks just inside the post. just inside the post. So a goal the difference at the MCG.
It's a trip. It's a sneaky trip. They've still only laid one tackle for the quarter, the Blues.
Jones just bumped as he attempted to punch it. Even though it's a free kick in the marking attempt, he wasn't actually attempting to mark it, which is the default. At least he's going for the ball.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. Heads long, top of the square. Curnow!
Oh.
Big grab. He's taking some big contested marks. Now Charlie.
That's the spot, Dwayno. We've been saying it all day. 0 to 15, 0 to 20, long high. Isolate him with Patrick Ambrose, who's fantastic around the ground and can run with Charlie, but he can't go with him up high.
And if the umpires are red hot as they've been in the last 2 days of football, stopping people blocking, we'll get a few of those marks.
Well, 100%, Eddie, because what would didn't happen in days gone by is there'd be another Essendon, or Ambrose would just wrap his arms around Charlie Curnow and push him to the boundary.
Just needs to finish it off with the set shot.
Pity he can't do that.
Wow.
Man.
Pity he can't do that part. Because Jono had a magnificent, he was going to show us how it was done then, and he can't.
Oh, guys, you would have loved it.
Shows how the point went there.
Yes.
2 goals, 2 to Charlie Curnow, and he's missed 2 absolute sitters. Oh, gee whiz. They kill you, those ones.
Got to make them pay, the Bombers now. They have to make them pay.
Yep, and suddenly it's opening up for the Bombers. McKenna's going to take them on. 3 bounces running through the centre of the MCG. He can keep going. 4 bounces. Kicks it long. Up towards full forward. Up they go. Off hands. Devon Smith at the fall of the ball. Suddenly it's up the other end. Fantasia looking for a little bit of magic. Doesn't get it. It's through for up behind.
Great run. And great contest from Stringer. He was out of position, but all he needed to do was get it to ground and give Dev Smith an opportunity. So a bit of dare.
Bit of dare with the kick in as well to Simpson.
Now Carlton can run here.
So out wide, just out of the reach of O'Shea. And get a ball in with McNeice side by side with him. Brendan Bolton again down on the bench. 8 minutes left in the third. Carlton yet to win a game this year. It's 15th and 18th. Carlton 0-7. Bombers 2-5. Ball back towards the boundary, and we'll get another ball in. But this is the moment for the Blues. They can get their season cranking if they can get up here today. The fans have turned out. It's their home game here at the G.
The thing that makes it fascinating from here on in, Dwayno, it's also the moment for Essendon.
Absolutely. Season's on death row for both teams. Curnow gets in the middle of it. Hurley back to Sard. Tries to shake off and does shake off right. Here's another run from defence. Sard a couple of bounces. Looks up. Drives it long. Hoping for, well, anybody will do, and no one went. Stringer half went and Rowe took the mark.
3 Essendon players went to the same area, the same patch of ground to try and get the same ball. I mean, you forget about your teammate in situations like this. Just start to think.
Gary, what would you have said to your 2 teammates who ran to the spot where you were running to?
Couldn't repeat it, Ed, but one of them had to take control there. But they all 3 headed there and didn't think about what that does for their other teammates.
So is it time for Carlton to be bold here? That's almost 50 against Stringer. He'd taken the mark and Stringer threw him to the ground. Anyway, Simpson's got it on centre wing. We're going to the old-fashioned jack in the pack at the moment from Carlton. Up towards Mackay, gets under the ball again. He's got to get back a yard or 2 and run at the ball. Now the ball spills out to Sard. Sard looks up, goes long. Stewart's his man. He's got to beat a couple here off the hands of the pack. They all stood and waited for a moment. Rowe has been fantastic, and that kick around the corner was beautiful football. Daisy Thomas's kick was along the ground, which was a good one too. That's where he wanted it. Graham up the flank rather, and the pack mark has been taken by Curnow. So suddenly things starting to move in this game. You just sense there's going to be a break one way or the other. Bombers lead by a goal. Curnow kicks it long. Cruz has got front spot. Up he goes. Off hands. Here's Paddy Cripps. Waltzes into the open goal. Handballs over the top. Here's the goal to the Blues. And scores are level. Lang kicks his second. And an Essendon free in the middle because Ed Curnow dumped Merritt off the ball. So when we get back to the centre, it's going to be a kick to the Bombers. Let's have a look at the goal.
Well, it needed something, Eddie. I mean, they kept driving it in, and you're just hoping that someone's going to be good enough to get clean possession off the pack. And, of course, it was going to be this bloke who reads it beautifully in those situations. Lang kicks a goal, and then
McKenna doing there for the Bombers as well. He was right next to Cripps, Gaz, and he just lets him roll. Goal C goes goal side. Cripps stays front and square and wins the ball.
So free kick in the middle. Bell Chambers to take it. And he just skies it in hope. Jones is under it. The fist of Daisy Thomas. O'Brien crumbed it. He was caught. Rolled in the tackle nicely by Zaharakis. Ball up.
It's all about whoever can make the best decision going inside 50, because between the arcs it's pretty even. Both sides are, but it's whoever can find a way to convert their opportunity best. At the moment, she's a kick and hope job.
Zaharakis feeds it out. Merritt to Much. Stand start on the back pedal. Daisy Thomas in the hole. Ball hits the deck. Petreski-Seaton smothered by Stringer. Tucked up against the boundary. Bends it back. Top of the square. Jones. He dropped it. Heppel at the back. Should hit the lead here. He didn't hit the right part of the ball. Hit the belly. Up they fly. Crunch, they all go up. And it could be a rush behind. Daisy took the contact. All clear.
He worked hard for that rush, Boyman. So Daisy Thomas was about half a foot over the line in the kick out. He was almost in the member stand there. Garrett, did you see that?
With Wayne Harmstone.
Oh, don't say that. He was in the Hilton. Ball up towards the full forward position. Off hands, dangerous play. McDonald, Teppenwood, he did enough. Devon Smith needs to get through here. Looking for the handball, flicks it up. They dive in on top of it. We'll have a ball up in the goal square. Oh, the tension here at the MCG now. That's a point the difference.
There's the tension for all the other reasons. In terms of Carlton have got a gilt-edged opportunity, and Essendon are sort of strangling themselves in the process.
Up they go. Bell Chambers to Parrish. He couldn't get ball to boot off the ground. Stringer looking. Another ball up. 50 years ago, these two teams played in front of 116,000, a record grand final crowd. The Blues got home by 3 points. They're here today, the heroes of 68 for Carlton. Ball spills out. No bounce, punt ball. He's pulled it in. It's got to be a free. But the umpire goes the mercy rule. But it's a punt ball and it's called. Dwayne, it should be a free, but
no one ever plays it, do they? 31-24 to the Blues clearances. So Cruiser and Cripps continue to dominate that area.
Much got on the end of Cruiser's fist. Just the required 15. Thomas. It's on a nice edge, this one. I hope you're enjoying it wherever you're watching around the planet. Bell Chambers, Cruiser, Hooker. Tried to flick it to Sard. Petreski-Seaton knocked it on. Bagley. Sard had a piece of it, but let it go. Fisher caught by Sard. Merritt floats it. Gets it inside 50. Bouncing ball. Stewart almost hit in the mush by it. Gets it out to Lang. He goes wide to right. He could be away. He took the half netball step. Floats it to Ed Curnow. He might get and go. McNeese cuts him off.
Gee, that was clever by Simpson. About a kick away early, under pressure. Just ferried the ball out to, I think it was Lamb.
Back to Mullet. Back to Thomas. Told to go.
David, stay with him.
Held up again by Lang.
Well, if you're patient, you'll find a player, Dwayno, until you get into the 450. Then it becomes congested. But they're opening up everywhere here.
Fisher.
Where's he going?
O'Shea. Mullet feeds it back. Thomas. Ed Curnow. And everybody takes a deep breath. And they've got 3.5 minutes left of three-quarter time.
And the kick in the end was a shocker, but it just beat everybody in the end. Hurley just flicks it up now. Bit of chaos. And Jed Lamb gets it and goes on the left boot. Now, here's the chance. Mackay waits for it. He does. He waits for it. He runs into the open goal and kicks a goal. And Carlton are in front. It was hard to call because we didn't know what he was going to do. Carlton lead by 5 points, and Essendon are getting done in the third quarter again. Let's have a look at this one.
That's touched off the boot from Zach Fisher. That's why McNeese wasn't paid the mark.
Yeah, could have been a bump ball as well. Doesn't matter. It was a good call by the umpires. Well done.
Cruiser again, Gary.
He's probably been the most influential on the ground. I've loved the way he played. And we didn't know what he was going to do either here. He's almost run the full journey. He's got players everywhere. And I think he's tricked Essendon players as well. It's a contest. Cruiser's athleticism and follow-up work has been absolutely as good as you'd see.
Game 100 for Bell Chambers, and they stare at each other, and they're going to have to stare at each other again. Cruiser, Bell Chambers. There's the great Ronald Dale.
The coach in 1968. What a superstar of the game he is, Ron Barassi.
What a man.
Yeah, royalty right there. Cruiser knocks it down. Bell Chambers stole it. Munger's one inside 50. Jones goes up. Got knuckles on it. Follows it up beautifully. Fisher. Thomas. Heads wide. Mackay kept it alive. Lang collects it. They collect him. Turned it over. Myers. The Bombers now on the rebound get a chance. He had plenty of time to spend it wisely. Got under it though. Jones cuts it off again.
Oh, it's a free kick.
No, he didn't pay it.
Had to be a free kick to McKernan. Jones just took his eyes off the ball and cleaned him up.
Simpson wide. Gee, Graham can go now. Could be a double whammy for the Bombers. He spears it. Charlie
he worked hard,
got down low.
He worked hard.
He did. If we could go back and have a look at some stage of that Shepherd.
Off the ball, Goddard and Graham going at each other.
He's at the other end of the ground. I mean, that's Sam Rowe. Yeah, it just puts McKernan on the ground.
Let him go now. Let him go.
Now, what do you reckon, Gary? He's going to have to kick through this ball because he'll have to go 40, 50 metres.
You, me, Dwayne and Brad Johnson that have no idea what's going to happen here. And I don't reckon he does either.
All right, let's go.
Nice off the boot. Big stage, Charlie. The bigger the stage, the bigger the man.
That's a great finish. That's a great finish, particularly when you've had moments in front of goals that have cost your side early in the piece. So, fantastic finish, but I can't help but think, I don't want to dwell on it, but this is something that's happening in footy. That is not allowing your forward to have a run at the footy, and that's cost them a goal. Take nothing away from Charlie Curnow, who's starting to impose himself on this game and looms as a potential match winner.
Especially after discussions post-game last night with Alistair Clarkson and the couple of incidents. But look at that, it's all about Charlie Curnow. And he's back for the Blues. He's having an impact. And what a celebration, Ed.
And it's all about kicking through the ball when you're having a shot.
Song.
Essendon free kick.
It's Bagley and Lamb at the other end of the ground.
Well, I reckon they might have heard you, Gary, at Essendon when they said, don't let Lamb manhandle our players. We can't let this happen. And Bagley's been the man who's been sent out. In the meantime, at the other end, Parrish has taken the mark. So for all the bravado, it has given Essendon a chance to get back. 11 points of difference. A minute 15, so a stupid free kick off the ball. And Parrish now, who has only had 8 disposals, 2 kicks, 6 handballs. Needs to kick from 50 metres out. He comes in, it's on its way. It's bending, it's bending, it's bending. And it's through for a behind.
So it was Bagley and Lamb behind the ball. We've seen it here, up to the left, bottom of the frame. Bit of mouthing off from Bagley, bit of push, and then Lamb just loses it. That's a win to Essendon. And a big loss to Jed Lamb.
Mackay comes hard, slapped away from him. Profesky Seaton, nice crumb to Graham to O'Brien to the midfield. Knock away was good by Dow. He just knocked it from Ambrose's grasp. McKenna spears it wide, hoping for Zaharakis, and he takes the mark. 30 seconds left. He needs a target. He floats it wide, and he found his man Smith.
He'll run around here. Devon Smith, Carlton need to be onto it. They're not at the moment.
Seconds tick. Now, it all depends on when he runs around, because if he runs around on the siren, it won't count if the siren sounds.
So the runner has to tell him that, Dwayne, because if he milks this clock, now he's going.
He runs around. Seconds tick. He drives it wide. It's there for the mark. Up they fly. Huge fist. Dumps it all the way back out towards Much. 3 seconds left. Collects it. He needs a mark target. High inside 50. Mackay. And the Bombers have lost another third term. And they're on the canvas. Carlton 10-6, 66. Bombers 7-14, 56. The Blues a quarter away from winning their first game. 10-6, 7-14. It comes down to this. 1 quarter of football. The Blues a quarter away from their first win for 2018. And the Bombers, their season is on the canvas right now. Up they fly. Belt Chambers, Cruiser. Ed Curnow caught. Cripps dives in. Secondary ball up.
Thank you.
Biggest margin of the game to either team has been 11 points. It's been tight from the outset. 10 points the margin right now. Cruiser down to Zaharakis. Bombers need a hero and they need one in a hurry. Ball flicked to the back. Stewart about to hunt it down. He's hardly seen the Sharon. Gathers. Looks up. Sard. Pokes the pass wide. Myers.
They've got to be a little bit smarter going forward, the Bombers, Dwayno. This is the long ball that just Liam Jones has gobbled up all day.
He sits it up. McKernan, can he get the fly?
Oh.
You bet he can.
Unless you can do that. And I told you, 5 times a game this bloke does something. And he's done 3. Could he do another couple and win the game for him?
Well, Gary, you called it early on.
10 metres.
The team that can get the ball in quickly and get a high marking forward to win this match.
Yeah, and it hasn't worked for Essendon so far because
they can't catch it.
Both Rowe and Jones have been able to get fist on it. No one's been able to do that, but this could be a turning point. He could catch fire.
First game for the season. Coming off the rookie list again over summer. Just 3 games last year. I'll take any hero. Anyone will do. And he's got a couple.
Winning that centre clearance, critical, and Essendon were able to do it on that occasion early in this last quarter. Get it out wide, long ball in. I love the pure jump here from McKernan. Daisy Thomas just didn't do enough there at all against McKernan. Question is, how did that matchup come about? But Jones there, you can see on Fantasia, so there must have been a rollover at some point in transition of play, but McKernan makes the most of it.
Yeah, I think it was Liam Jones that was playing sort of 10 metres off and wanted to jump at it, which he got, but McKernan was just good enough.
Clearly the tactics are so important in this last quarter. A bit old-fashioned. Get the ball when it's there, kill it in the contest, go hard out of the centre, and Cripps does it again in the back. Free kick, Carlton. This is just going to boil down an old-fashioned battle. Carlton and Essendon at the MCG. Ball goes out wide to the outer side. Now Carlton have got running players, decide to go long with a kick. Up towards Curnow. Almost bounces onto his chest. Beautiful play. Carlton into the open goal. Handball over the top. Round the corner, Mackay has missed.
Might have been touched as well. Paddy Dow's a young player, so the youngsters getting involved.
So back out to 5 points. Mackay had the big chance. So McKenna for Essendon brings the ball into play.
Stringer again couldn't get both palms on it cleanly. Merritt had it but couldn't get it away. Stringer keeps barrelling it forward right, and it rolled out.
But the Bombers have only taken 45 uncontested marks for the day, John. So that is either they haven't been able to find the free, but they have been willing to go long and high.
From the flick down, Fisher gathers. Time to assess it. Sets it up. Charlie Curnow. Not the second grab. Ambrose did well then. McKenna slung as he kicked it. Not the required distance. Charlie still attacked it. Still wanted it. And he holds it up.
So all up, Essendon high, defending, all in a half of the ground.
Goddard, touch, scrambles it away. Simpson with the use of the body. Jones rang into a roadblock. Ball up.
So Tipper Moody and Orazio Fantasia and Darcy Parish are 3 smalls ahead of the footy.
Belchamber gives it a good hoik, but Carlton have got the numbers around the ball here at the moment. Ed Curnow searching for it. Dragged away by Devon Smith. Good play by Cripps as always. And a good result for the Blues. Throw in on the forward 50. Carlton 10-7, Essendon 8-14. Blues have had 17 scoring shots, Essendon 22, but it's Carlton by 5 points. Cruiser gets underneath it. Couldn't get a tap on the ball. Big spike from behind from Stewart. That's what they needed to do. Parrish just can't get going today. Now he gets the ball back from his skipper, and it opens up for Sard. Sard looks up. McKernan's the man. You said you needed a hero. Didn't care who it was. It could be McKernan, Dwayne, because his kick is a ripper, and the mark has been taken by Fantasia. McDonald, Tepman Woody puts Essendon in front by a point. McKernan, the unlikely hero for the Bombers. Danaher out, McKernan in. Who'd have thought?
Yeah, and what they did is they had Parrish, McDonald, Tippermoody and Fantasia as the three smalls ahead of the ball. So their two talls played high. McKernan got out the back, and that's the question you'd be asking the Carlton defender. How could you ever possibly let the big guy get out the back by 10 metres? And then it was the small guys. Tippermoody and Fantasia were able to get back. I think they're more likely. The smallers are the ones that are more likely to cause the damage. But Rowe or Liam Jones would be asked the question, how did McKernan sneak out the back?
2 in a row now to the Bombers. They've got the momentum. They've got the lead. Bell Chambers, Cruiser. Cruiser palms it down. Stringer stole it from Cripps. He thought he was about to get another clearance from the congestion. We'll get a secondary ball up.
Started in the centre square, Stringer on that occasion.
Little flick down his direction. He's got it. Tries to fend off. He's wrapped up. He's cling wrapped. And he's going nowhere.
So a little burst. They've asked for a burst. Try and get some centre, some clearance ascendancy. They trail by 5 in that area.
Bell Chambers from behind flicked it down. Stringer had another chance. He's still got it. Flicks it out to Myers. Scrambles it forward. Thomas read it well. Parrish took his eyes off it.
Hold it. Play on. Play on. 9.
Simpson.
Play on.
Still a ton of time left in this. Graham holds it up on the wing for the Blues.
So Graham could go to the centre of the ground. He's got players on, but he just doesn't trust himself. Decides to go for the safe option up towards Curnow. Got one hand of the ball being held. Free kick.
That's great, but I'd rather... Oh, well, we've got Cruiser in the goal square, which is not a bad option.
Now Cruiser leads. Curnow's kick.
Great kick.
Off hands. McDonald, Tepman Woody did well, but Wright picked it. Now the kick at goal is a beauty for Carlton. Petrovsky-Seton has kicked the goal, and Carlton are back in front.
And lucky he kicked it. He was good enough to get it done, but there was a Carlton player on his inside where it should have gone to, but the young fella took it upon himself, and good on him. It's all about the result in the end. I thought Cruiser was going to get there as well, yeah. Jono. You'll just see here, bang, to Mackay would have probably been the play, but he was good enough in the end. So this is a fantastic contest.
Back in the middle.
Goddard in the middle, too.
It's Cruiser stares at Bell Chambers, stares at Cruiser. Myers is in there, Fisher is in there. Goddard side by side with Kerridge. Ball comes out to Bell Chambers, couldn't quite get it up. Petrovsky-Seton, delightful, got it to Fisher, but he was stripped. Garland slams it on the boot. Lamb, big influence early. High tackle, and he'll win the free. 40 metres directly out.
He's been in the middle of it from the opening bounce, Jed Lamb. Been involved in most things where there's been a little bit of controversy. Now he's got Michael Hurley and won himself a free kick.
Back into the lineup this week. 5th game of the year.
Centre bounce clearance was key again, Dwayne. They dominated in that area today.
See what he's got running through his veins here. Huge moment. And with each passing second, every moment becomes even bigger. From 40, ice in his veins.
They're away here, the Blues. Got the jump in this last quarter on the Bombers now. Can the Bombers respond? There's the one-on-one contest from Lamb. You can see over the shoulder there from Michael Hurley as he was searching for the ball. And that was the important aspect. They missed some sitters this afternoon, the Blues, and they couldn't afford it there. Neither could Jed Lamb, because he's been up and about in the face of the Bombers throughout the afternoon. It's a great way to just keep rubbing salt into the wound.
It's a long time since they've sang that Carlton song.
Oh, there we go.
A long time. And they got the reunion on here. Those boys might want to down and sing it with
Oh,
them.
I'd love that. How good would that be?
If they're in a good enough state.
It doesn't matter.
Well, the 68 team might know the words. Cruiser, here we go. Up goes Bellchambers. Cruiser got the tap. Heppel comes in. The Bombers have got a lift. The captain tries to do it. Fisher for Carlton tries to get it going. Parrish is grabbed, trying to get the ball out. Hurley fumbling with the ball. Push underneath. Look at this. Hard tackling. That's a free kick to Carlton. Fisher's got it.
That's modern footy right there, and there's just a little shot of adrenaline in this blue side, the dark navy blue side at the minute.
Yeah, the Bombers were panicking left, right and centre. Call, play on, haven't heard it yet. So Fisher now goes, runs around the man on the mark, goes back on, he needs to get that left boot, gets the handball going. Ball spills out now to O'Brien. And O'Brien, who has not scored in his 5 games, keeps that.
He's had 2 chances today, O'Brien. Just that fumble, and that's where, obviously, first-year player, if he's clean there, he has a pure set shot. The fumble, he has to rush.
Jones rises and plucks it. Almost brought it to ground. Umpire said play on. Didn't control it. And we'll get a ball up.
A little composure too from Zach Fisher. He just needed to hold it for a second or so, but the pressure's building. There's pressure everywhere out there.
Well, it's great to see when the pressure comes, Gaz. It's 6-6-6. No spare man, no one coming from behind the ball.
Cruiser to Cripps, gets away, breaks free. 60 from goal, spears it to Charlie Curnow. Race on, Ambrose. Charlie got there. Can he shake him? He flicks it over the top to Lang. Lays the tackle on Much. No prior, so it'll be a ball up.
The Bombers have got to find a way from their clearance too. That's the area where they've got to start to get their first hands on it, and then the spread from the clearance, which has been critical in this last quarter.
2 kicks the margin. Cruiser knocks it down. Ed Curnow collects it just inside the line to Gala. Thump toward the boundary, and we'll get another ball in.
Well, the Blues have had 8 tackles in inside their forward 50 to 0 for the Bombers in this quarter.
Bombers season is on the canvas. They need this one. And they've got the seconds ticking on them right now. Time's against them as much as the scoreboard. Fisher tried to break through. Zaharakis outside 50. Good attack and great mark taken by O'Shea. He looks inboard. Will he play on quickly? He's got the leads coming. He throws it up towards Charlie Curnow. Hooker got back in the hole.
Curnow led to the pocket first.
You wonder how you could end up kicking it there.
Yeah. Well, he's kicked it out to a 2-on-1 here for the Blues as well. Page has been good. Handballs over the top. Heppel needs the lift. Plenty of time for the Bombers. The only 2 kicks off the lead here. The Verde under pressure, but Carlton are tackling with intent. Now they go forward again. Carlton to Lamb, who's been the antagonist today. Steps his opponent from 55. He kicks it out. Kerridge has got it. Kerridge has got the mark. And will go back to give Carlton the biggest lead of the game, with 12.5 minutes left on the clock.
Well, Jed Lamb's had a big influence on the outcome of this. They just couldn't progress the ball. The handball from Dyson Heppel was a strange one to make the decision. And then they just got it into a one-on-one situation, and Kerridge outmarked Brendan Goddard.
Sam Kerridge has kicked 32 goals, 24. This is his 63rd game of football.
Jono says, what are you saying?
Oh, no, Heppel, right foot. You just got to use it sometimes.
I thought you were saying Sam Kerridge.
Here we go. No. Kerridge to possibly give Carlton their first win of the season against the old enemy. He comes in. The kick is on its way. He's kicked the goal. Carlton have got the biggest lead in the game so far. Can you believe it? The Bombers kicked the first 2 goals of the last term, and Carlton have kicked the last 3, and the Blue Baggers are up on their feet.
Unbelievable response, an unbelievable response. You just thought when they kicked those first 2, the Bombers, that might have taken the wind out of them, but they found a way over to Essendon now. Can they respond? Or have they just now gone into their shell and started to think about what's going to be said on the TV tonight, what the papers are going to say tomorrow? That's what they've got to start attacking the game, Jono. What have we got? 11 minutes, just under 12 minutes. This might help them. 17 points might say, rightio, we've got to take more risks.
Go.
Open it up. Get the runners. Get the Parrish and the Tipperwoody, if they're capable of running harder into some space.
3 goals, 12 minutes. That's the equation. big crowd here. MCG, perfect bounce. Stage is set for a huge finish. Cruiser can't break free.
Well, Cripps is out of the centre square, so he needs a breather, Dwayne. So this might be Essendon's best chance to try and get some clearance ascendancy.
Ton of time left, really, for 3 goals. 11:45 and counting. Ball flicked down. Smith somehow to Zaharakis. Breaks free, gave it to Dyson Heppel. He flicks it out wider. This is the kick. Long kick. Fantasia loads up, goes long. Mojo back.
Well, you caught it there, Gaz, through that stoppage, and they were able to win it, the Bombers, and come out the front of the stoppage. And you see Heppel, 21, he just gets out. O'Brien gets caught chasing the tackle, and then they get the overlap play. And Fantasia, this was an important kick from 50, had to land it, and he did.
You wonder what happens if Fatty Cripps goes out. Do they lose all structure around the footy because you can't have that much room in front of you, the centre circle there. Cripps goes back in.
So Cripps goes back in, as Gary Lyons says. It's 11 points the difference. 3 times Carlton have got out to 11 points. We just saw them out to 17 points. And on each occasion, the Bombers have reeled them in. We have got 11 and 28 to go in this game. Cruiser to Cripps. That's what they're looking for. He gets the handball just as he throws at the umpire.
Good result. That's a good show of strength from Devon Smith. He held on.
He did well. Got it out wide. Now the Bombers are starting to move. They're starting to get on their toes. They were back on their heels for the last 10 minutes. The kick comes forward. Fantasia getting busy. Up towards full forward position. Off hands. March's kick. Parrish around the body. Misses.
But the urgency's come. The 17-point margin snaps them into life and says, hey, you got to go here.
Devon Smith with 12, leading the way with tackles today. Curnow for the Blues. Essendon have to get that right now in the last 10 minutes of this game.
Cripps half held by Smith that time.
50 metres.
And 50.
Abuse.
Wow. What a time for Matt Stevic to throw that one out there.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me like that.
That's it.
It's when you've got to stop thinking about yourself.
Time off. Hold there.
And Cripps drives it wide. Hooker flies up, almost sport his own man. McKernan knocked it down in the congestion. Hurley couldn't really drag it in. Merritt spanks it out. Fantasia knocked it away, starting to have an impact. Knocked it away that time from Cripps. They all dive in, and we'll get a ball up on the outer side. 10 points the margin. 2 kicks, 10.5 minutes. It's got to go down to the wire, this one.
He is the one, Fantasia. Dwayne, metres gained, just getting real good ground position this quarter.
Lovero's work in that last passage of play, though. He just put the block on, held the ball in. Now, Goddard. Oh, that was wonderful play by Wright. He balked and then went and got the ball himself up towards full forward. Or Petrevski's seating, just waiting. Curnow dropped the ball that he knows, says the umpire. McKenna was pushed up it as well. Petrevski's seating again. Garland picks it up. He's grabbed by 3 Bombers. Down he goes. That's gone.
Oh, I thought the upset there for Payne holding the ball.
He had enough of it. It was a great tackle. Ball up. 10 points of difference. Carlton's forward pocket. Oh, it's a goal! Curnow's kicked it out of the pack! And Curnow's got it out of the pack from nowhere! A miracle goal for Carlton! Can you believe it? Ed Curnow on the left boot just threaded the needle. And they're back out to a lead now of 16 points.
Well, another clear, another stoppage. The goal from a clearance here. Watch Cripps just move this pack almost. Gets first hands on it. Ball falls forward. Just goes underneath Cale Hooker and finds a way. What a time. Great response, great response. They would have got nervous. Fantasia brings it back to 11. Nerves would have come up. It's got to play it moment by moment.
Time running down now. Ball tossed in the air. Up flies Cruiser, knocks it down. They need the clearance. Their season's unravelling. Can they sift through the ruins here, the Bombers, and find something from someone? Brendan Bolton downstairs. staring at his first win of 2018. John Worsfold, contract extension, high hopes pre-season, but their season has unravelled with each passing week. They've come into this having lost 5 of their past 6, and they're in danger of losing this one to the bottom team on the AFL ladder.
11 inside 50s to 4 for the quarter, so they have been the dominant team in this last 10 minutes of the last quarter.
Cruiser palms it down. McDonald, Tip and Woody. He shakes them off. Slams it on the boot. Gets it towards attacking 50, Laverde. He's within range if he wants to. Thinks about it. Spends it. Maybe not so wisely. McKernan. Ball up.
Will hold the ball, Gaz. First fend off. He's had his opportunity to dispose of the ball.
Prior opportunity, we're told, to fend off. Yeah.
The Blues are bringing up all their half forwards, trying to really make it congested around the stoppage. The Dons are the opposite, trying to open it up and hold their forwards back.
McDonald, Tevin, Woody tries to crash through. The ball spills out. Stringer needs to do something. Was that in the back? No, said the umpire. Devon Smith ducks his head, gets the ball out. Now Stringer kicks to the hot spot. Hope more than tactic involved in that kick. Much goes to ground, umpire letting it go now. Simpson gets the handball out to Daisy Thomas, who goes with a big torpedo. He's hoping for the boundary line. Out it goes, it bounces back into the middle of the play. Bagley now gets the handball out. Sard can reload. He goes to his skipper. The kick comes in from Heppel. Up towards the hotspot again, off hands. Cruiser slams it outside 50. Next, stats so important. We're going to get a ball up. 8 minutes and 22 seconds. Essendon needs to kick 3 goals. They've kicked 10 for the day so far. A cold wind blowing through the MCG today. The Carlton fans can't feel it. It's as cold as ice for the Essendon fans at the moment. They can't believe they might lose to Carlton today. Heppel hoiks it forward, hoping for the best, and this bloke has been sensational. Matthew Wright marks on defence of 50. They're 1 goal away from victory, you think, Carlton?
Right, Thomas, he takes off. He's inspired right now. Heads wide, Hurley and the kid, the 18-year-old. O'Brien's got it. He looks up, floats it to another kid. Mackay looks up. This is the future we're glimpsing into for the Blues. They've come into this 0-7. Can the kids get them home? Lang taking some time off the clock. Not so silly, really. It's a lot of time, but why not take a minute off now?
You got Cruiser deep. Cruiser's worked himself into a position now where he can contend for this long ball.
And look out for Curnow with the jump.
Sits it up there. Cruiser attacks it. Bill Chambers with the knuckles. Got it down to Dyson Heppel, to Myers, toward Laverde. Knocks it forward. Zaharakis. Curnow. He crept up on him, and he got him hard and got him unawares and won himself a free with 7 minutes left. It's a 3-kick game.
Well, tomorrow is Mother's Day, and Brendan Bolton should go around and serve Mrs. Bolton breakfast in Mrs. Curnow breakfast in bed, I reckon, because her 2 sons are killing them today.
And then she can go and see the Cripsers and the Cruisers.
Exactly. McNeice to Merritt. There's no one really forward except for McKernan, who presents beautifully in March. Trying to
50.
Play 50. Has to be 50. McKernan now swings round onto the right boot. It's out wide and it's out of bounds.
You're right, it has to be. It wasn't called to play on. It was engaged.
So Zaharakis.
Didn't see Ed Curnow, but the kick in the end, even still from McKernan, out of bounds is not what they need right now, Essendon. Had to do better than that.
Yep.
He's the tackle machine, Ed Curnow, leading tackler in the competition.
So Cruiser and McKernan do the ruck work again. Fantasia has been good today, just pokes it along the boundary line for another throw in, but that should have been a set shot for McKernan from about 10 metres out.
6.5 minutes on the clock. Need to score within the next minute, you would think. I mean, it's a low-scoring game. 10 goals for the match. They need 3 to win, 3 more to win. It's a tall ask.
Huge moment for both clubs, really, for both coaches. Shove it out in the McDonald, Tip and Woody direction. Kerridge half rode him, half let him go. Thomas scrambles it. Zaharakis back to the pocket. Kerridge just pumps it out, pumps it high, and Bagley stands under it, and he's got it.
Well, that's the best thing that could happen, that Kerridge brought the ball back in. The last thing they wanted was repeat stoppages in their forward pocket. Got to go quick.
Every player on the ground ahead of him. He sits it up, floats it long. McKernan thumped clear. Good set of knuckles on that from Liam Jones. He would have taken skin off, but he doesn't care.
Yeah, I'd love to know how many spoils he's had today, Liam Jones. He's played the percentages really well. He's read the ball in flight really well, been prepared to come off his man. He's had a couple of moments where he'd like to take again, but all in all, he's been solid.
Inside 6 minutes, 16 points.
Play on. Throw. Carlton.
14 spoils, we're told, to Liam Jones. That's a good afternoon's work. 5 minutes on the clock. Just running out of time here. This is going to be one very special occasion. That clearly shows the story there. Ambrose on Charlie Curnow. Charlie Curnow done well with 10.
So Carlton playing in front of, in no particular order, Ron Barassi, John Nichols, Robert Walls, Alex Jezelenko today. Today's the day to play for the jumper. And Merritt's kick goes through for a behind. The heroes of 68 who beat the Bombers in front of 116,000. It was a record crowd that day, and Robert Walls.
He's texting his Essendon mates right there, Woolsey.
Yeah, he's there. He's on the Fox Footy app at the moment, Robert Walls, just checking to make sure the score is right. He can't believe it.
Simpson long, Cruiser. Well, he edged out Bellchambers a little. Umpire said it was okay. Hurley. Ambrose, not 15. 3 goals, 5 minutes. That's the equation for Essendon's season right now. There's the great Ron Barassi. First win of the year for Brendan Bolton if they can take these last minutes off the clock here. And the Bombers can't find a hero. Inside 5 minutes. Ambrose wrapped up. Umpire circling.
So from an Essendon point of view, when they've needed it, Brendan Goddard just the one possession. Cale Hooker one possession in the last quarter. Jake Stringer the 3 possessions. So the leaders haven't been able to get involved. Tom Bellchambers yet to touch the footy in this last quarter.
And it's a good old Saturday afternoon at the head office, and there's nowhere to hide right now for the Bombers. Is right. Walls it forward. Hooker hunts it. He's got Bagley short, centre half back. He has to get and go. Time is of the essence. They look at the scoreboard. There's 27 minutes gone.
Got to come up the middle, take a big risk.
And he does to McKernan. Little juggler. He pumps it wide. Stewart takes the mark. Still time for 3 goals. Short pass is okay. McKenna. He pokes it. Zaharakis blasts it. Hookers forward, up, thump clear, over the back, Parrish. It just eluded and rolled through for a behind.
At least there's urgency from Cale Hooker, who got the ball in the last line of defence and then worked down there and contested that in the goal square. So he understands the urgency in here.
So I've got it down for 5 rush behinds today. They've got back the Carlton defenders. 5 rush behinds for the Bombers, that is. 27 scoring shots to 21, yet it's Carlton in front by 14 points. The clock's so important at this stage. 3:45. They've got to get a goal here, Essendon. And Parrish will have a shot from 52 metres.
Well, again, he's got to go in. Quick.
He gives it off to Stringer, who pulls the kick to the near side and kicks it out of bounds on the full.
Cripps into him as well. He's looking for a couple of those in this last quarter, Stringer.
They've had a bit of a battle, those two, at different stages today, Stringer and Cripps.
Sorry.
Keep going, mate.
No, I was just going to say, I've been in teams that have had to fight hard for a win, and this last 3 minutes here becomes, well, it's not as good as a finals victory, but a long time coming.
They'll be nervous.
As good as it is at the moment, there's 3 minutes and 10 seconds left. The Bombers go forward, have to get a goal here. Outside of that, unless Carlton got 19 on the ground, the Blues are going to have their first win of the season. Daisy Thomas has fought hard all day. Rowe's kick is a beauty, as Dennis Committee would say. It was centimetre perfect. And we're going to have a throw in on centre wing, and suddenly Carlton supporters are looking for the words to Lily of Laguna. 2 minutes and 51 left on the clock. Carlton 14-7-91, Essendon 10-17-77. Throw in, 14 points. Cruz has been magnificent. He gets the ruck tap out. Fisher goes for the ball. Bagley gets it crunched down in the back. Umpire says play on advantage. Downfield because he was dumped. It's going to be a free kick to Essendon.
Laverne looks up.
Well, Liam Jones just looms large again here.
Stewart to the pocket. Can he gather? Jones, he got enough on it, and it rolls through for a behind. Danger averted.
15 spoils to Liam Jones.
Simpson plays on quickly. Not sure if he needed to. Mackay, McNeese. They get it to the boundary. 2:25 left, and it's a 13-point margin. Carlton having a rest. This is going to be massive for the Blues. A glimpse into the future.
Cruiser and Cripps have had 35 contested possessions between them.
The weight of the world will be lifted off Brendan Bolton's shoulders in a couple of minutes if they can get home from here.
That's leadership right there. Huge. I mean, if you wanted the two blokes that could drive a team to their first victory for the year, you want your ruckman and your captain, your acting captain. And they've led the way here.
Goddard in the middle of the scramble. More seconds tick down.
What was a huge matchup pre-game, Cruiser v Bell Chambers, and you look at those contested possessions, Bell Chambers has had 4 for the game for the Bombers.
They're singing the song in the Carlton cheer squad. They're pumped up. They've had not much to sing about. It seems like the last time they had a win, it was Jesser who was playing for them. But have a look at them, the cheer squad. They deserve it. They have stuck through thick and thin. And Carlton, with 2 minutes on the clock, can enjoy beating one of the arch enemies, the old VFL enmity between Carlton and Essendon. They've played in some ripping games over the years, and 50 years ago it was Carlton breaking Bomber hearts in the 1968 Premiership.
That is a great, it's a great story. It is a fan, and one will be celebrated long and hard. It'll quickly turn the focus, though, which is the way in footy, to the team that have lowered their colours to Carlton today.
Free kick to Cruiser, and he gets a standing ovation and the cruise from the crowd.
Well, he's been enormous. He has been enormous. Ruck work, follow-up work, just sensational.
1:20 on the clock. Off hands, Curnow just searching, reaching, and the ball goes over the line out of bounds. A pat on the head, a standing ovation from the crowd. And Carlton are going to get up today and beat Essendon to win their first game.
And they're back here next week to play the D's, which will be another big game here at the MCG.
It ends their worst start to a season in the storied history of the Carlton Football Club.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing that would have been such a weight around their neck, knowing how great this footy club's been over the journey. Every single week without a loss gets, Lance Windle.
The things you do for love. And they love this club, their fans. This has been an epic win, really. To come into this game without a victory and to scrap it out, to put youth into this team. Essendon coming in with no teenagers in their 22. Carlton with 3 out there, 2 18-year-olds and a 19-year-old. They've got Charlie Curnow out there who's the future. They can wrap a whole game plan around Patrick Cripps.
And it's just been a horrible month for Essendon, hasn't it?
From the ball in, Kerridge scrambled, Curnow dumped, Myers wrapped up, Cripps had him, tried to strip him, seconds tick down. Essendon just want to be put out of their misery. This has been a horrendous afternoon at the office for the Bombers, but the best today at the office the Blues have had all year. Short pass towards Dow, he dives in, can't trap it. Heppel can't get it away, still in that scramble. Back towards Dow, dumped by Smith, and we'll get another ball up with 22 seconds from one of the mightiest roars of the year.
So let's count it down. 22 seconds to Carlton recording their first victory of the year. If they could pick a couple of opponents, I think I know what they'd be. And this is one of them. Essendon have the ball on centre wing, but the day belongs to Carlton. Hooker has it, kicks inside 50. And there's the siren. Let's listen to the roar. famous old dark blues today, and their coach gets his first